Before we try to find out what treasure is here, we have to figure who did the work on Oak Island. I believe that this was the work of the Aztec Empire.
For more than 200 years, hundreds of people have embarked on voyages to find the elusive treasure in the Money Pit on Oak Island. What started as a treasure hunt between friends in 1795 has snowballed into different quests taken on by people. The Lagina brothers are some people dedicated to this centuries-long search. After all of their efforts and resources, have they finally found the treasure? Is the search finally over? Join us as we talk all about the Oak Island treasure that has recently been found and how mind-blowing the discovery is. The Oak Island treasure has finally been found. In this episode of The Curse of Oak Island, we continue with the Lagina brothers as they follow leads in hopes of taking them to the illusory treasure. For 11 seasons, these two men, along with their team of experts, have worked tirelessly to finally lay their hands on the loot that has evaded so many people. Will this finally be the end of their quest? The episode begins with the team stumbling across an unknown and shiny object. This object was possibly gold, and this meant that they were getting closer and closer to the treasure.
Hey Charles, you ready?
Absolutely.
I just wonder where you start. There's something in there, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Put her where you want it to go, Billy, and let's take a few shovelfuls. Time to dig.
Time to dig.
The Curse of Oak Island team discovered this lead by draining some swamps in hopes of getting to the treasure. They weren't too sure about the validity of the draining action, but with all the other discoveries they had made, this was just another important cog in the wheel. Every lead and every action taken counted as important, because the things found by different people for over 200 years may or may not be linked to the treasure. For starters, there was the discovery of a large stone with different symbols carved on it. Secondly, the bone pieces and skeletons of the people who also wanted a piece of the treasure but didn't make it because they met their untimely end on the island. And lastly, a lead cross. There have also been a couple of other discoveries, but in the grand scheme of things, they could be insignificant. However, there are some elements of the Oak Island treasure hunt that are deemed to be fascinating. Some people have claimed that these discoveries can be matched with the Knights Templar. Sometime in the 12th century, a Christian military order known as the Knights Templar was established. It was first established during the Crusades to safeguard Christian visitors going to the Holy Land, especially in Jerusalem.
Before we get into the church, I would like to show you something.
The breadth of knowledge that Professor Gaspani has is integral to this process. And he said there was indeed a very profound connection between Templars and Cistercian monks.
It was approximately in 1129 that the Catholic Church formally acknowledged the order. With the help of gifts from European nobles and their own commercial endeavors, such as banking and land management, the Templars soon amassed riches and influence. They developed into one of the Crusader power's largest and most effective military units. However, the Templars' power and wealth also inspired jealousy and mistrust. King Philip IV of France, who owed a great deal to the order, started plotting against them at the beginning of the 14th century. He issued an order in 1307 to have numerous Templars in France arrested on charges of heresy, blasphemy, and other offenses. Some European nations also adopted similar measures. Many Templars made confessions under torture, while historians disagree on the accuracy of these testimonies of various crimes. In 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the order at the behest of Philip IV. Some Templars were put to death, and many others were arrested. There is a possibility that the Templars hid many of the riches that they garnered on Oak Island. The Lagina brothers and their team would have to figure out who the treasure belonged to the minute they got to it. In their latest adventure, they encountered a strange structure situated at one of their choice locations. It was a large circle of rocks surrounding a swamp. Granted, it might not have looked like much, but for such a quest as this, every discovery counted. It had been a while since the team made any major progress, and this made them very eager and excited. The first step to understanding this new find was to recruit the help of one of their dear friends and close associates. His name is Dr. Ian Spooner. He is a knowledgeable geologist with a mastery of understanding rocks, especially the rocks that were found in the swamp. After some analysis was made about the swamp the rocks were found in, Dr. Spooner concluded that the swamp wasn't natural. He was certain that the swamp was built by some people a long, long time ago. Expanding on his opinion, he said, "I was really interested in trying to find something that connects the stone road to something else." He continued, "We know it had to be used for something else, and they were going somewhere and doing something." Understandably, the Lagina brothers and team were even more interested in finding out more secrets or clues that could lead them to the treasure. The information they got from Dr. Spooner would affect how they investigated the area and the different measures they would carry out. In their ongoing explorations into the swamp, they were able to discover an interesting part of Oak Island. This part of the island is known as Nolan's Cross. Their analyses made them find some blue clay there. This changed everything because a few years ago, the team discovered some blue clay when they dug deep into the money pit. Blue clay in the money pit and some more blue clay in the swamp? Surely there had to be some sort of link. And if there was any link, the Lagina brothers and team made up their minds to get to the root of it all. This could finally mean they were really close to the treasure, and they could uncover even more secrets of the island. To explore the swamp more, the team decided to drain out the swamp. Draining out the swamp would allow them to explore its clouded and dreary waters. However, there was a catch, and draining out the swamp wasn't going to be a walk in the park. Hardly a week after draining the swamp, the mud, sticks, and muck that remained proved to be a fresh set of challenges for the team. This new problem made them believe that the island and nature were doing everything they could to prevent them from reaching the treasure.
It's a ring! This is a ring, mate! That is a ring.
And team didn't make any headway after draining the swamp. However, after weeks of excavating the drained swamp, they found a huge stone area. Dr. Spooner was invited again to make his analysis, and again he concluded that the stone was made by people from years ago. When they reached the eye of the swamp, they discovered some boulders that looked fascinating. Of course, this made them all wonder if these boulders had a connection to the rocks they found earlier. When the team brought Jerry over to analyze the boulders, he wasn't able to draw a concrete conclusion. However, he noted that he had seen other kinds of boulder pavements before. The ones he had seen looked different from the ones the team found. The boulders they found had a type of soil that was attached to them. Because of this new information, they shifted their focus to the sediments deposited in the area that could have materialized as a result of the wind accumulated over 8 millennia ago. More and more investigations of the area made them discover some filled-in cellars that looked like the stones they stumbled upon earlier. Was there more to the island than meets the eye? The filled-in cellars were truly bizarre because there weren't any explanations that could make the team comprehend them more. The lack of a compost layer around the cellars amazed them more because at least they would have been able to tell if any natural disasters had happened there in the past. Dr. Spooner further claimed that some humans put them there deliberately. Maybe it was some people who had been there in the past that had a hidden agenda. Either way, the Lagina brothers and their team made up their minds to know what exactly had happened there in the swamp.
Yeah, the trench is starting to silt up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There she goes.
It only made sense that they increased their efforts and dug even deeper into the swamp. There had to be more that was going on under the surface. Thousands of miles away in Traverse City, Michigan, Marty Lagina was overseeing other issues. He was on a very important phone call with Mark Monahan. Mark was one of the representatives of a company called Irving Equipment. This phone call was all about the steel Cofferdam that was erected around Smith's Cove. This was essential because it aided the investigations the Lagina brothers and team were currently undergoing. Also, there was a little problem. The government permit that was utilized to erect the Cofferdam was about to expire in a month. This wasn't a great situation for the team because they were in a race against time to lift the Cofferdam, so they wouldn't break any laws or go against any environmental rules. Basically, after all the processes they were carrying out, they would need to restore the area. A month was all they had. Juggling this issue and trying to find out more about Oak Island wasn't proving to be an easy feat, but they had a job to do regardless, and they all realized that. The team had to remove the dam's large metal sheets, and doing so would exacerbate their other problems. Also, getting rid of the sheets wasn't an easy task. They needed to act fast, so the team started out right away. They had to use their huge cranes and other heavy equipment to assist them in this venture. The whole Cofferdam issue felt like a drawback. It felt like they had taken one step forward and 3 steps back. The searches and investigations at Smith's Cove in the uplands had to be put on pause for the rest of the year.
What's your timing look like?
We're thinking it's probably a week and a half.
Aside from that, I think you guys got your marching orders, and anything we can do, you let us know. Fair enough?
Yep.
That's no problem.
All right, gentlemen, good luck.
On the bright side, the representatives from the Irving Equipment Company were heavily interested in the job. To them, this wasn't like any of the other regular jobs they had taken up. All the excitement for and interest in the job was about to yield some fruit. This is what happened. Apparently, one of the holes they were tunneling through in the uplands suddenly filled up with water. This excavation was a result of following a lead that led to a possible tunnel. Everyone on the team looked on in awe as the water was springing out of the hole like a geyser. A week prior, they had been conducting some tests in the uplands region, and they found a probable tunnel that supposedly led into the ground. So, even if they had to halt their excavation exercises, the whole team was overjoyed because they figured they could find the main tunnel they had been looking for so long. Someone on the team said, "I think we might have hit a collapsed tunnel, some sort of linear feature of wood that got disturbed." In all of this, the team didn't forget the initial problem of removing the dam. It was still important because they also realized they had to do it in a way that didn't cause any harm to the immediate environment. For example, they had to ensure that no dirt or debris was let into the ocean. The heat was on. The environment was at risk. The Lagina brothers and their team had to figure out everything in such a short amount of time. As if that wasn't bad enough, they also had to get access to an old boat that they assumed to be in the area. The equipment that they had also wasn't enough. They had a lot on their plate, and it's only understandable that they felt overwhelmed. Eventually, they figured out that all they had to do was take everything slow, one step at a time, one task at a time. Maybe, in the process, they would find more clues that would lead them to the treasure that had eluded so many people for years. With such an inflexible amount of time, they agreed that the first thing they should do was to shift their focus on finding the peculiar tunnel. They believed it was the cause for the flooding of seawater in the money pit. To start the process, their heavy equipment operator said that he was ready to help the team by digging as deeply as he could into the soil. And if they had luck on their side, this would change everything. This would mean that they'd found the tunnel they had been looking for. Even the viewers at home realized that if they had found this tunnel, they might have been on their way to actually finding the treasure. Both the team and viewers everywhere were on the edge of their seats, bustling with excitement. Closing up this snare trap of a tunnel with its flooding could finally be the beginning of the end of their whole quest. Rick Lagina said someone was endeavoring to do something substantial. It needs more digging, and until that happens, I don't think we can properly assess what this may mean. Soon after, Billy set out to work. The entire team watched as he worked hard to get as deep as he could. His digging led to the discovery of different old wooden structures in the uplands in Smith's Cove. The team made more analysis and concluded that these were clues left behind by some other people who also wanted the treasure for themselves. This encouraged them because they figured that they were on the right track. The tunnel was also believed to be the original site for the money pit. They also encountered a wooden structure that was made of coconut fiber. This was an extra dose of excitement for everyone. Did this mean that they were getting close? Had all their efforts finally led to something? Now, they absolutely had to find the main flood tunnel. As they carried on with their work, they discovered a huge wall. This wall stumped them, but they also thought that the wall might be a larger part of the tunnel they were so keen on finding. The digging stopped for a bit because they had to clean the area to get closer to the truth. And then they found another wall. This particular wall wasn't as broken up in pieces as the first, and they began to wonder if it was even a tunnel they were dealing with. With this, they decided to relax a bit and try to figure out if it was a real wall or just the indentation of boards on the clay. All in all, the Lagina brothers and their team forged on. More work on the site led them to discover more clues. Even though they couldn't come across the tunnel in itself, they were resolute because they had one goal in mind: to find the treasure of Oak Island. There might be more pressure on them because of time constraints and permits, but the Lagina brothers and their team have come this far. Some challenges, like a dam and board authorities, won't deter them. They are going to do all it takes to beat the time and find this mysterious treasure. What is it about Oak Island that has made people so interested in it from years ago until now? Why has it taken so long for the treasure to be found? Let's dig deeper into the history of Oak Island and its tricky treasure. The history of Oak Island and why it remains a mystery. Treasure hunters have been drawn to Oak Island for more than 200 years. It is a small piece of land located in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. Its story is a fascinating combination of tales of lost treasure, clever engineering achievements, and a relentless curse. The story of the treasure on Oak Island dates back to 1795. Daniel McGinnis, a teenager, and his pals set off on a straightforward island expedition. On their way, they noticed a strange depression in the earth. It was different from the surrounding natural scenery. The crew came back with shovels and picks, intrigued by the chance of hidden pirate treasure. Their town was known for its pirate refuge qualities, so inarguably, they cosplayed as some pirates. When they first dug, they found a string of carefully spaced, log-lined pits spaced 10 feet apart. They were convinced that there had been an intentional human intervention and that this intricate construction might be a treasure vault. It didn't look like anything found in natural formations. The discovery gained immediate attention from investors as word of it spread. When the Onslow Company was established in 1802, it conducted a more thorough excavation. They kept excavating the original hole and came across more log platforms regularly. However, when they plunged deeper, they had a problem. There was water everywhere. Their progress was restrained by the pit filling up with water that appeared out of nowhere. Still, the company resolved to get over this barrier. They came up with a clever solution: a treadmill driven by horses and a system of pumps. They tried to stop the flooding, but it kept happening, so they had to leave the hole at about 90 feet. The long treasure search on the island was centered around this pit, which came to be known as the Money Pit. An infamous stone inscription was reportedly discovered during the Onslow Company's excavation and added fuel to the mystery fire. Various translations of the inscription suggested that there might be treasure hidden beneath the surface. It said that 10 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. Nowadays, there is an ongoing debate regarding the legitimacy of this inscription. Some believe it to be a subsequent fake. However, it also strengthened the idea that there was a significant treasure. This created a word-of-mouth situation that shrouded the island's history in secrecy. There were also rumors of a curse connected to Oak Island. 7 lives were supposed to be lost before the treasure could be found, according to legend. Even though this dark story was probably inspired by the intrinsic risks associated with deep pit excavation, it added to the island's appeal. The nature of the supposed treasure on Oak Island over the ages has given rise to a bunch of other theories. The pirate connection persisted, with Captain Kidd and Blackbeard often mentioned as potential culprits. The idea of riches hidden by historical figures such as the Knights Templar also started to gain traction. Some of these other theories went beyond the bounds of conventional treasure, suggesting the presence of culturally significant artifacts such as Shakespearean manuscripts or even religious relics. The charm of Oak Island's treasure kept adventurers and investors drawn in despite the huge barriers. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, a great deal of companies and people made an effort to reach the bottom of the money pit and other appealing areas on the island. Some fascinating finds were made, but the enormous treasure pile remained elusive. For starters, there were 17th century coins that could have pointed to pre-treasure hunt activity on the island. Secondly, some scraps of parchment might have indicated European presence before the generally accepted arrival of European settlers in the 18th century. And finally, pre-Columbian artifacts, such as a lead cross, have given rise to even more unconventional theories regarding the island's past. The late 20th century saw the start of Oak Island exploration in its current form. Captivated by the island's past, our heroes and brothers, Rick and Marty Lagina, purchased a considerable piece of the land in the 1990s. Their work is featured in the universally loved TV show, The Curse of Oak Island. It has revived interest in the ongoing search. The Lagina brothers have investigated several sites on the island, including the Money Pit and other fascinating oddities. They use cutting-edge technology and employ the help of a group of specialists. Now, this probably sounds inspirational, but how did the Lagina brothers embark on this journey? How did they get their start? Let's talk about it. How the Lagina brothers started their passionate adventures. A teenage Rick Lagina came upon an article in Reader's Digest magazine that described the compelling rumor of the money hole on Oak Island on a fateful day in 1965. He got hooked right away and confided in his younger brother Marty about his newfound fascination. This started a lifelong quest that would ultimately result in them gaining a share of power on the island itself. Retired postal worker Rick Lagina personifies the Oak Island expedition's unwavering spirit. From the start of the initiative, its driving force has been his contagious passion and endless curiosity. Rick's unshakable belief in the presence of a massive treasure has inspired and motivated the crew through many obstacles and disappointments. Marty Lagina's business sense and financial know-how balance Rick's enthusiasm. Marty is a prosperous vineyard owner from Traverse City, Michigan. He has contributed the essential resources and funding that have kept the expedition going throughout the years. Due to his realistic attitude and clever decision-making, the crew now has access to the newest tools and technology, allowing them to solve the island's secrets with previously unheard-of accuracy and efficiency. Even though the Lagina brothers are the operation's public faces, Dan and Dave Blankenship's contributions would not have made the Lagina brothers' mission possible. They are two men who have devoted their lives to solving the Oak Island mystery. A real Oak Island legend, Dan Blankenship arrived on the island for the first time in the 1960s and was drawn by the same Reader's Digest piece that served as the Lagina's inspiration. He dedicated his entire life to the hunt for almost 50 years, drilling the iconic borehole 10X and even diving to the bottom of it. This was an incredible accomplishment given the 235-foot depth of the shaft. Despite Dan's passing in 2019 at the age of 95, the team's efforts are still guided by his vast knowledge and unshakable spirit. Dave's son Dan is a permanent resident of Oak Island. Dan has been following in his father's footsteps. Dave's first-hand familiarity with the island's topography has been of great help to the current expedition. Even though an industrial accident left him partially paralyzed, Dave's perseverance and strength have inspired everyone, embodying the unwavering attitude that characterizes those in search of the Oak Island treasure. People whose knowledge has been crucial to the search's advancement have joined the core team. Engineer by profession, Craig Tester Marty Lagina's business partner, has added a rigorous and scientific approach to the operation. Jack Begley, his stepson, has earned a reputation for taking on the dirty tasks. He has gone into dangerous regions by hand to sort through the spoils and is passionate in his resolve to find every clue. Marty's son, Alex Lagina, a certified diver, has contributed his abilities to the team's underwater explorations and played a vital part. Charles Barkhouse, an Oak Island historian and tour guide, and Dan Henske, another treasure hunter, have contributed priceless historical background and insights, which have helped solve the mystery that has baffled decades. As the expedition's scope expanded, the team realized they needed specialized knowledge and invited a wide range of experts and researchers to contribute their skills. A local geologist named Terry Matheson helped to analyze cuttings and cores from the island's numerous boreholes. An important archaeological supervisor, Laird Niven, joined the team to make sure the excavations followed the right procedures and preservation criteria. Gary Drayton, a Florida-based metal detecting specialist, was instrumental in revealing intriguing relics that have strengthened the team's resolve. Because of his abilities and good eye, valuable coins, archaeological artifacts, and other fascinating hints about the island's perplexing past have been found. The group has also benefited from the experience of recurrent experts, such as local Freemason and diving master Tony Sampson, who has been crucial in helping to explore the island's underwater environments. A chemist from St. Mary's University in Halifax named Dr. Krista Brosseau has been instrumental in deciphering the origins and secrets of the materials and objects discovered during the digs. The expedition has benefited from the participation of numerous scholars and writers who have given their views and observations, in addition to the core crew and specialists. Researchers Zena Halpern of New York sent the group old maps and theories regarding the Knights Templars' possible role in the Oak Island mystery. Author and investigative journalist Randall Sullivan has carefully recorded the island's past and the numerous expeditions that have occurred over the ages, providing a thorough analysis of the epic treasure quest.
It hurts me to see him suffering with this loss, and I can't even imagine how badly it's hurting him.
Embark on a heart-pumping journey through the strange depths of Oak Island, alongside the legendary Craig Tester, a pivotal figure in the suspenseful quest for treasure. Amidst the excitement and intrigue, a huge shift rocks Tester's world, leaving us all on the edge of our seats, fearing the worst for Craig. What happened to him? Will this incident end up with him finding the Oak Island treasure? Join us as we follow Craig Tester in his adventurous journey to hunt down the treasure of Oak Island. The puzzle that is Oak Island. One of the most recognizable members of the Oak Island research team is Craig Tester. Tester was instrumental in the creation of one of the most successful media franchises in American history, as well as the Lagina brothers' exhaustive search for riches on Oak Island. However, something happened to Craig Tester on Oak Island that completely turned his world upside down.
I don't want to say, hey, drill here and then not be here to support you guys.
Off the southern coast of Nova Scotia sits Oak Island, a combination of historical legends, enigmatic occurrences, and the tenacious pursuit of treasure hunters make Oak Island such an alluring destination and attraction. Oak Island is a beacon of intrigue that entices people into its dark depths with tales of hidden treasures and wonders that cannot be explained. Oak Island's unequaled puzzle stems from the legends that have been passed down through the ages, whispering of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. The island's lush, ancient tree-adorned landscape serves as the setting for an adventure that has captured the interest of both fans and scholars. Scholars and fans alike have been left in a state of wonder by the series of intriguing discoveries that have been made on Oak Island. Among these discoveries are strange stones that have been etched with symbols. The riddle has been further revealed as a result of the discovery of several tunnels and shafts, creating a suspenseful and exciting atmosphere. The island also exudes excitement due to the presence of booby traps and flood tunnels that have been purposefully placed to protect potential treasures. The fact that treasure hunters are forced to overcome these obstacles in the course of their relentless efforts only serves to fuel their determination to uncover the secrets that lie within. Someone else enters and discovers that the shaft was a booby trap and that there is a flood tunnel that leads to the ocean, in addition to the water suddenly flooding the area.
Get hit significant water, you can put a line on that towards the money pit.
The Curse of Oak Island, a television series that chronicles the recurring journeys to investigate Oak Island at various locations, shows the steadfast resolve of a group of people led by brothers Marty and Rick Lagina. The several sites where the expeditions have been carried out are also documented in the series. They set off on a difficult and troubled voyage that is accompanied by tales from the locals and the fascinating history of the island. Over several centuries, some theories have surfaced linking Oak Island to pirates, the Knights Templar, and even legendary riches like the Ark of the Covenant. These theories have been presented in a variety of ways. This web of conjecture, combined with the lack of definitive information, adds layers to the island's mysteries, keeping enthusiasts and scholars excitedly awaiting the revelation of the next revelation. As to the well-known curse on Oak Island, if 6 people have passed away, then a 7th person must likewise pass away during the year's treasure. People started talking about a curse on Oak Island when the Truro Company was digging the money pit. We don't know exactly where the curse came from because it was mentioned many years after they started looking for treasure. But sadly, the first person lost his life in the 1860s because of an explosion while trying to drain the money pit. More people came to the island to find the treasure because they heard exciting and dangerous stories about it. They dug more holes, but it only made it harder to find the real treasure. In 1897, explorers found a small piece of paper with the letters 6 on it. Experts said it was real, but they're not sure if it was important or just something left behind by people who lived on the island before. Another person lost his life in 1897 when he fell. Then, in 1965, 4 people passed because of poisonous gases underground. People said that 7 people had to lose their lives before the real treasure could be found. Some tried to avoid traps in the tunnels, while others dug tunnels in different places on the island. With at least 6 lives lost, people started to believe in the curse. The seductive conundrum of Oak Island, which includes stories and beliefs about the whereabouts of hidden treasure, has drawn in seekers. Craig Tester, one of the committed team members working on the Curse of Oak Island saga, had a bad turn in his life, which gave the story a deeply poignant touch. The Curse of Oak Island boasts of an incredible crew who have shared passion and have put their resources together to find the island's elusive treasure. The Treasure Hunters of Oak Island. The Curse of Oak Island series concentrates on a strong group of people, brothers Marty and Rick Lagina, Dan and Dave Blankenship, and others, who are at the heart of the intriguing riddle that encircles Oak Island.
We made an interesting find. I can't wait to get it back to the lab, but for right now, let's just keep digging.
Craig's test, Dan frenzied. Charles Barkhouse and Peter Fornetti have dedicated years of their life to the relentless search for the island's deeply concealed secrets. The leaders of this ambitious group are Marty and Rick Lagina, both of whom are originally from Kingsford, Michigan. Their shared vision and drive to solve the puzzle of Oak Island have inspired not only their journeys, but also their campaign to uncover Oak Island's secrets. Dan and Dave Blankenship, 2 important team members, contribute their unique skills to the inquiry in the compelling television series that has garnered a passionate fan following. It is a significant chapter in the history of treasure hunting on the island that they collaborated with Oak Island Tours, Inc., the company in charge of the island's initial exploration. It is also evident that Craig Tester, an engineer by training, is a highly valuable member of the team. His technological know-how, combined with his roles as co-star and producer, has helped to create a new and exciting experience for the island. The Curse of Oak Island features a lengthy list of adventure seekers beyond the more popular players like Marty, Rick, Craig, and the Blankenship brothers. Jack Begley is one of the original members of the reality series and its producer. Begley tackles some of the more challenging assignments when out in the field, such as directing an excavation team through a challenging location or investigating an unidentified marsh. Billy Gerhardt, a native of Lunenburg, is returning to The Curse of Oak Island Season 11 to join the Lagina brothers. When it comes to supplies, Gerhardt is crucial, providing the actors and crew with the tools they require for excavation or sleuthing across challenging terrain like marshes or forests. The Curse of Oak Island also stars Steve Guptill. Guptill is a land surveyor who regularly works with Billy Gerhardt on the team's many tasks. Because it includes a distinctive underwater excursion off the coast of the namesake island, The Curse of Oak Island. Season 11 is elevating treasure seeking to a whole new level. Leading the expedition with veteran Ken DeBoer in underwater imaging is expert diver Tony Sampson, expert in metal identification. Gary Drayton had an immediate impact on Season 11. To the pleasure of the Lagina brothers, Drayton can make some findings. Without seasoned cast member Laird Niven from The Curse of Oak Island, an expedition wouldn't be complete. As the chief archaeologist in the show, Niven leads multiple trips. As one of the archaeologists assisting Laird Niven in The Curse of Oak Island, Jamie Kuba joins the Season 11 cast. Kuba is an Indiana University of Pennsylvania alumna with pride. Fiona Steele is another archaeologist who joins the Oak Island expedition team alongside Niven and Kuba.
I do agree with Carmen saying that it is older.
Among the scientific specialists working with Laird Niven is Emma Culligan, an archaeometallurgist. Terry Matheson, a geologist and resident of Oak Island, is another team member who leads the group's sonic drilling efforts. Sandy Campbell is yet another team member who is a numismatist and coin collector. Charles Barkhouse and Scott Barlow collaborate to assist the Lagina brothers in learning the truth about the island's meaning. Doug Crowell is another historian from Oak Island. Crowell works mostly at the Center of Geographic Sciences in Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia. Danny Henniger is a member of the Curse of Oak Island Season 11's seasoned historian group. Dan Hensky completes the historian group. As one of the few residents who has turned into a treasure hunter and committed his life and career to discovering the money hole on the titular island, Hensky stands out among the other group members. The diversity of the group is evidence that its capabilities have increased. As a result, their efforts to solve the challenges presented by Oak Island's unusual landscape are rewarded with encouraging findings. Each of these people contributes a unique set of skills and perspectives to the venture as a whole. This achievement is a testament to the team's perseverance and dedication, which has allowed them to get this far. Their unwavering dedication, which is regularly highlighted in the television series, exemplifies the sense of camaraderie and common interest that binds them together. They continue exploring Oak Island's depths because of the alluring promise of finding treasures that have been hidden there, even though they run into obstacles and issues along the way. Every new piece of information about Oak Island, be it the location of an underground tunnel, an unfamiliar stone, or possible booby traps, adds to the island's ongoing riddle. Because of their ability to face the unknown and travel through the island's past, the Curse of Oak Island team not only captures spectators, but also becomes a symbol of the human spirit's unwavering perseverance in the pursuit of discovery. The action of the show takes place on Oak Island, which is a part of the world where you can find some of the most unique and peculiar places on the entire planet. Their combined efforts contribute to the ongoing story that Oak Island tells, which is widely recognized as one of the most intriguing and odd locales in the world. Oak Island will continue to tell its story over time. Craig Tester in particular has proved himself to be a very vital member of the treasure hunter team in Oak Island. Craig, an invaluable part of the whole.
It was laying this way.
Yeah.
Not standing up, it's laying like this. So it could be the top of a
One figure in particular comes to mind right away because the narrative of Oak Island is so compelling. Thanks to the services of Craig Tester, an engineer who transitioned from working in the field of engineering to playing a significant role in the treasure hunting quest, the Curse of Oak Island series has gained a new and intriguing dimension. Craig Tester, who is highly regarded for his engineering prowess, brought a great deal of extra technical know-how to the group. Although he began as a crew member, his expertise quickly elevated him to a key role within the group. Moving from working in engineering behind the scenes to becoming a professional engineer is an important aspect of his career. During the series, Craig Tester's role changed, and he not only became a co-star but also took on the responsibilities of producer within the context of television production. This move highlighted his multi-dimensional contributions by combining his technical expertise with the storytelling components of the medium. And through his expedition, we can observe the combination of technical knowledge and the sense of adventure that is associated with treasure hunting. Craig Tester's dynamic and excellent storytelling was brought to a key on-screen part. Craig Tester's contributions were based primarily on his engineering abilities, which were crucial in helping him overcome the challenges posed by Oak Island's complex topography. Tester also played a key role in leading the team through the various excavation activities that led to the discovery of secrets hidden beneath the island's surface, a feat he achieved by employing state-of-the-art equipment and technology. His presence gave the dynamic group of treasure searchers an extra dimension of complexity, which increased the combined potency of their skills. Not only was Craig Tester an engineering master, but he also became a vital part of the team working on the Curse of Oak Island. He made decisions and provided strategic insights through his contributions. In addition to demonstrating his professional commitment, the Tester's involvement in Oak Island research initiatives reflects a common interest in unlocking the puzzle that surrounds the island. An unexpected turn of events was included in the storyline of the 5th season of The Curse of Oak Island, which was composed by Craig Tester. Craig Tester's consistent presence in engineering knowledge formed a cornerstone for the team as they experienced both successes and failures, which helped to strengthen his position. As a geologist, as the search for Oak Island's buried treasures continued, Craig Tester became an essential figure in the investigation. In addition to shocking everyone with a theory that went beyond the parameters of conventional treasure hunting, Tester, who was often associated with engineering and technical activities, added a layer that further shocked fans and enthusiasts. Craig Tester boldly suggested during that season that it would be feasible to locate real, highly valuable folio editions.
I'm positive at this point we've hit what we cored. Whatever that is, we're about to find out if it's the vault or not.
The fact that the earliest folio editions of Shakespeare's plays were published is a great example of the island's odd nature. This revelation, which was somewhat unexpected as well as shocking, sent a seismic across the Oak Island community and spurred discussion about the many directions the show could go. The idea that there might be a relationship between the strange island and one of the most well-known literary figures in global history defied the conventional wisdom that is usually associated with treasure hunting. Fans of the Oak Island puzzle, who are used to conjecturing about pirates, ancient artifacts, or buried treasures, were confronted with the idea that the island might be hiding cultural treasures that have a tremendous amount of historical significance. The prospect of discovering original folio editions of Shakespeare's plays was an exciting one to consider. The theory that Shakespearean works were the source of the notion of treasure hunting provided a dimension of intellectual and cultural value to the treasure hunt, elevating it above and beyond the simple quest of worldly wealth. A more thorough investigation into the many facets and levels of Oak Island's potential mysteries was started in response to the Shakespearean theory. In particular, it highlighted the wide range of hypotheses that might be looked into, calling attention to the fact that the complexity of the island was not limited to a single specific narrative. This insight not only gave the treasure hunt a new level of intellectual sophistication, but also opened up new possibilities. To better understand Craig, who is not only attractive but also fascinating and hard-working, let's take a closer look at him. The man called Craig. Craig was born and raised in Glendale, California. He worked hard in school and earned an engineering degree from Delta Upsilon College. As college roommates, Craig got to know Marty Lagina during this period. Although they had different interests, their passion for treasure hunting brought them together. Craig had a particular place in his heart for wrestling, and he often daydreamed of competing at the highest level. Despite his brief involvement in the sport and his participation in several matches, he did not pursue a career in professional wrestling throughout his life. Instead, he found success in other endeavors. When Craig first started working professionally, he worked with Marty in the oil industry. Because of Craig's exceptional engineering skills, this was a very lucrative industry for them to work in. Together, they made a significant amount of money running a business that brought in enormous earnings.
Money pit's here, they came down next to it, then they tunneled over to it.
Oh, I see, yep.
Maybe we're hitting parts of that tunnel.
However, the fact that they never lost their enthusiasm for treasure hunting is what eventually brought them together in the Curse of Oak Island. And knowing where they came from will help determine who was there at this location. Fans of the Curse of Oak Island know Craig as a dependable ally to the Lagina brothers. During their protracted treasure hunt, Craig and Marty own Heritage Sustainable Energy, the largest wind turbine company in the state of Michigan. Craig also owns a portion of Nova Scotia Island through his ownership of Oak Island Tours, Inc. Since the start of the show, Craig has been a vital member of the team because he consistently offers the group insightful advice on strategic approaches and locations for potential future digs on Oak Island. His contribution goes beyond just helping with the excavations the team conducts on Oak Island. Even if fans are grateful for Craig's labor throughout the episode, his contribution to the history series may be even more crucial than some viewers are aware of. Craig has been in a lot of dangerous circumstances helping the other team members understand which areas of the ground are safe to dig and how to prevent various mishaps. However, there is a pivotal point in the show that many feel made him lose his composure and push the boundaries of speculation a little bit beyond than it should have. Some individuals believe that the island holds more than just historical relics or treasures that are lying in wait to be discovered. They think that folio versions of Shakespeare's plays that are incredibly valuable could be hidden beneath the surface of the earth. They found a fragment of material during the 5th season and took it to the mainland laboratory to be investigated. After it was established that leather constituted the substance, something like paper was discovered to be attached to it. One of the team members believes that there could be an old book binding. There was much shock among the people, and many thought that Craig could have taken the wild rumors about Oak Island too seriously. In this particular instance, Craig presents Shakespeare's theory to the audience. Fans all over the world are taken aback by this answer or proposal because they never in a million years would have anticipated that the sensible man would provide such an answer. However, during the show, Craig Tester experiences a tragedy that shook the foundations of his life. Craig's big tragedy. The untimely and catastrophic passing of Craig Tester's son Drake in 2017 took place during a very trying time in his life. Drake Maxwell Tester was the name given to Craig's son at birth on July 17, 2000, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was born into a family of 5, which included his parents, 2 other siblings, and himself. He was the brother of Jack Begley and the sister of Madeline Begley. Drake, who had a seizure disorder at birth, passed suddenly and unexpectedly from epilepsy, SUDEP, leaving the Tester family in a deep state of sadness. Not only did Drake's passing take away a beloved family member, but it also fractured the vibrant and giving spirit that defined him.
Oak Island, for me, has helped. It takes my focus off losing Drake. I think of him every day. I think I'm always out here.
Despite his challenges, Drake was able to cheer up and make everyone around him feel comfortable. Drake had a seizure problem from birth, and although his trip had been carefully monitored, His sudden departure had left the entire family with an unfillable void and cast a shadow of darkness over their lives. The Oak Island team came together to support their colleague during this particularly trying time because they recognized the gravity of the personal loss that Craig Tester had suffered. Their understanding and support were a reflection of the profound bonds that were developed inside the close-knit group. These bonds went beyond the realm of professional relationships and acknowledged the shared humanity that binds them together. Considering such a significant loss, while Craig Tester and his family were going through a challenging and agonizing process of grieving and healing, Tester took the difficult choice to temporarily remove himself from the presence of the curse that Oak Island placed on him. The program, which had played a significant role in his life, was pushed aside. The Oak Island team's assistance during this time demonstrated their strong friendship and demonstrated that they were a family in addition to being on treasure quest. Craig was greatly impacted by Drake's passing, as evidenced by his determination to prioritize his family and personal health over all else. Within the walls of their home, the Tester family was able to share their journey through loss, but they also had the opportunity to share it with people who had grown to know and love Craig Tester as a result of the horrors that transpired on Oak Island. The Tester family's ability to persevere in the face of such a personal loss is a monument to the strength that can be found in compassion, unity, and shared humanity. And the assistance that they received from the Oak Island team is a testament to that strength. Regarding his private life, and in contrast to the treasure-filled landscapes of Oak Island, Craig Tester presents an image of a devoted husband and loving father. In addition to joining the family, Drake gained recognition as a familiar face to viewers of The Curse of Oak Island. The deep bonds within the Tester family are exemplified by his involvement in the treasure hunt, his occasional appearance on the show, and his clear excitement for the family's exploits. Craig Tester's choice to sell his Michigan house for $3.75 million signaled a significant departure from the usual environments associated with the treasure quest. This choice was brought about by the grief and loss that came with Drake's passing. The decision to move closer to Marty's house revealed the Tester family's desire for support and proximity during the emotionally taxing period. As a result of that personal loss, which was highlighted by his withdrawal from the program and subsequent actions to deal with such a severe loss, the Tester's life was significantly changed.
So I'm appreciative for all the guys, and I'm appreciative for Oak Island, for everything it's done for me.
This decision demonstrated the significance of these traits. Resilience and strength are required to put family before the pursuit of treasure. Craig Tester's journey served as an example of the value of family ties because it demonstrated that, even in the face of a persistent riddle like Oak Island, a person's heart still firmly points toward the solace that comes from being embraced by loved ones in difficult times. The story of Craig Tester's adventure on Oak Island is one of tenacity in the face of adversity in one's personal life. His performances added a new level of intricacy to the narrative of Oak Island, which was already thought to be strange, along with the unexpected turns that happened during the treasure quest. The Craig Tester narrative highlights the human element of the hunt for hidden treasures and shows the Oak Island crew's resiliency and camaraderie in the face of catastrophic loss. The Curse of Oak Island has become a very important show for many, garnering a lot of fans who enjoy treasure hunting. The success of The Curse of Oak Island. History originally broadcast the first episode of the fascinating television series Marty and Rick Lagina on January 6, 2014. Over the years that the show has been airing, it has garnered a steady stream of admirers and followers who are all waiting with bated breath to find out what secrets are hidden from Oak Island. The protagonists of the show are two brothers from Kingsford, Michigan, who are on a mission to locate the secret riches. Situated near Canada's Lunenburg town, Nova Scotia, Oak Island is an island located on the province's southern shore. It is a lovely sight to behold, as it is privately owned and covered in vibrant trees. The superstitions surrounding Oak Island have been enhanced by several fascinating discoveries. Oak Island is a fascinating spot because of its traditions and conjectures about the possibility of treasure being concealed there. Among these findings is the unexplained stone with symbols etched on it, the discovery of numerous shafts and tunnels, as well as the existence of several layers of flood tunnels and booby traps. Even though a lot of treasure hunters and researchers have dedicated their time and resources to solving the mysteries surrounding Oak Island, the ongoing investigations, which are frequently met with roadblocks and challenges, have contributed to the island's mystique. The puzzle has become even more confusing due to the lack of solid evidence. Several theories have developed over time, some of which suggest that there are connections to Templar knights, pirates, or even fabled riches like the Ark of the Covenant, an enigma that is compelling and never-ending. Because of the combination of its own history's unexplained occurrences and the elusive nature of any prospective hidden treasures, Oak Island is a compelling and enduring riddle. In 1965, a 200-meter causeway was constructed to connect the western end of Oak Island to Candles Point on the mainland. The purpose of the causeway was to enable the transportation of large machinery to Oak Island, as ownership of the island has fluctuated since the publication of Old Legends in 1857. After Oak Island tours went out of business in 1965, the pursuit of wealth grew so vast that it was announced in February 2019 that it would be forming a new partnership with a company called the Michigan Group. This particular group, which included Rick and Marty Lagina, Craig Tester, and Alan Kosterzawa, had been buying lots from Tobias. Craig has been a significant figure in the exploratory endeavors carried out on Oak Island. Nevertheless, these endeavors are coming to an end. Craig took part in the Oak Island treasure hunt, which was highlighted on the television program The Curse of Oak Island. The show follows their journey as it documents their quest to uncover the secrets and perhaps hidden treasures on the island, with participation from fellow team members Rick and Marty Lagina. Initially, Craig was more of a crew member, but eventually started carrying in the show and helping with its production. He was able to because he knew many aspects of the investigation, such as the use of cutting-edge equipment and technology.
The Lagina brothers and their team have again discovered a mysterious stone road that provided so many clues to finally find the most awaited treasure. As treasure hunters, they have been fascinated by the legend of Oak Island for over 200 years, spending countless hours digging and discovering some more top-pocket finds. While exploring Oak Island, new clues leading to ancient treasures have appeared. Now, with this discovery, people wonder if it could be the answer they've been looking for. What will they find next? Join us as we delve into the mysterious clues that the Stone Road has again provided. Mysterious finds on Oak Island. 2 weeks ago, while digging up the southern edge of the potentially 500-year-old Stone Road, the Oak Island team uncovered a large hand-wrought chain and hook that blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg dated to the 16th century. The chain was a 3-point hitch and was also generated by its appearance to be a 4-point hitch. However, speculation is that this artifact was once used in the swamp area to offload cargo from a ship onto Oak Island. Let's proceed to learn about this. The large hand-wrought chain was an important discovery, and on immediate experimentation, it was speculated that it could be pulled across the heavy ground and then get to the bog, which later ended up in the road. The extent of the construction of the road and where it transitions to the beach have been defined and analyzed clearly and perfectly. Underneath the stone road there are big timbers, and digging them up turns out to be a massive undertaking. It was noted and believed that the road was put in for a specific reason. The one who created it did not want to be found. However, this island leads to the yet-to-be-found treasure being laid under it, and the very unusual old-looking chain was dug up, giving some interesting, nice and profound artifacts. Marty Lagina and Craig Tester joined Rick Lagina and other team members. They are to inspect the wooden structure just dug out from Stone Road. It is on the southern border of the Oak Island swamp. Seeing the edge, it was believed that it did not end right there. 2 logs were under the edge of the rope, and it looked really like they were fitted together. 1 log was taken, and it looked like building a cabin. There was a brush, and it was just under construction itself, with smaller logs. It was slow to underpin the road. Then it stopped suddenly. There was swamp muck mixed with bigger logs. On the bottom there was a vertical run to the road. It was also well integrated into the structure of the stones. It can be said that it was put down during the road construction. Moving on to keep digging underneath, Billy and his team keep hopes up for a better find, as the best dig is yet to come. Another discovery was what looked like a barrel stave. Digging into the swamp, several barrel staves had been found earlier, so looking carefully at the unidentified object with a side of its shape wider than another, I assumed it was a barrel stave. The other side of the shape was ripped out, still giving instances of being a barrel stave, so they keep comparing to see if the idea of the area being in an offloading area is true. According to Gary, the unidentified object might be related to the pieces of wooden cargo barrels dug up in the area some 3 years ago, which Carmen Lake, based on his analysis, believed could be as much as 600 years old. Every time they search in and around the swamp, they find some stone roads, the paved area, the ramp, and many artifacts. So it encourages them to continue digging. Notably, on any discovery that they always make at least a little analysis of it. So it is all about knowing the historical background. It is all about exploring history and finding more objects. As they continued digging, some coins were dug up. Unknown to what it is, they were kept for later experiments and analysis. One thing is that when it is about discovering new things, the detector will make beeping signs, leading them to look into the detected area and bring out the detected object. Upon another alarming beep, the detector catches on to another object. It was considered wood or rock, but it was a boulder. With a little shovel work to check, the boulder was found. It was the first one to be found so far. A roar was suggested to be in alignment with Stone Road. Hence, the first 2 big rocks were like retaining rocks. They are classified as the retaining edge. It's possible to stand and look at the Stone Road and think that it had to have a special purpose. It's a rather massive construction that must be done for a reason. What was it for? As further digging is done, it is compelling to see what the data suggests. This could lead directly to what has been in search for years. An exciting thing about being in the swamp is the possibility that Billy sticks the bucket. The 3 pieces of wood that were dug earlier were interesting objects. One was a barrel stave and the other 2 were strips of wood. One was like a rounded piece of wood. According to belief, it might have been a pickaxe handle. It looked like it was shaped by hand. Maybe it could be an old tool. They wanted to know about the roots of the wood and what it might have been used for. Also, there is some speculation about its possible uses. Upon speculation, a piece of wood can be related to the original construction of Stone Road. So, the Laginas keep checking. They want to know if analyzing the wood might reveal its age and origin. After a few minutes, they went back to work. They found some rocks. They also tried to check their location. The location of the rocks seems like a potential obstacle to their finding. The placement of the rocks seemed like they were buried. It feels like they are being staged in the area. On a steady row, there's a flat one placed lower behind Gary. The discovery, however, shows some clues in the swamp. This positively impacts the thought about the extent of the workings in the swamp. It had been thought earlier that there was nothing there. Marty has always preferred the swamp, but the more discoveries were made in the swamp over the years, the more twinkled Marty's eyes. He is now beginning to like the swamp. Their recent discoveries have given them hope to continue their search even more. They've decided to face their fears regardless of whatever might come their way. The way they find something and think of it as being of great value, but it ends up not being one, has shown them more of an understanding of Oak Island and their expectations. Now it is time to rest. Although work still goes on during the period of rest, it is very important to rest after a long day of work. All the objects discovered earlier can be attended to now. Rick, Craig and Gary along with the man who helps them reveal the origin and value of objects, use this period to decide what to do. Fresh finds on Oak Island. The search for answers to a 229-year-old treasure mystery continues for brothers Rick and Marty Lagina and their team. This is in one of the most fascinating and unfriendly locations. The location on these 140 acres Oak Island is known as the triangle-shaped swamp. The closer they get to Stone Rod, the more exciting it gets. That is why they are pretty excited about the area. 1 week ago, the team found a large hand-wrought chain and hook. The chain was found while digging up the 500-year-old Stone Road. The Stone Road, also known as the Ship's Warmth, was first uncovered in the southeast corner of the Brackish Bog in 2020. According to blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg, this discovery dates back to the 16th century. However, the chain is not only used to lift heavy cargo. Now the team is digging further into the southern shore. It is the shore that borders the swamp. In the hopes of uncovering more of Stone Rod, some clues could prove whether or not the swamp was artificially created to hide something of great value on Oak Island. There seems to be a stick on the other side of the house. Zach's cut seems almost peaty, though. It's a little bit of peat. It goes to the mud, and it's the only layer there. This tells us there is a need to know what is under the dirt. To help clarify matters, the Laginas decided to call Dr. Spooner to come down. An axe-cut wood is interesting. It represents an older type of wood construction. This material is coming up in the peat because it's quite layered there, and there's sand and peat. The site of this is not natural. What to make of the possible connection between the area and Stone Rod remains to be discovered. The peat shouldn't be over the sand. If the beach moves landward with time, the sand should be over the peak. This is important because it shows how the feature was built similarly. However, there cannot be any visual contact regarding how the feature exists in front of our eyes. They continuously searched for answers and pulled the boat up on the beach. But having a big 26-foot boat sit on a beach is impossible. A platform is needed to transport it. The peaks are then placed over the sand. According to Dr. Spooner, the swamp and surrounding area were artificially manipulated to construct Stone Road. They were constructed to move something of great value from a ship onto Oak Island. And to get this done, one might need to go 3 to 4 feet. If this is true or not, it has yet to be verified. However, Dr. Spooner is someone who could be trusted with his predictions. So, because the stack of rocks signifies the end of the road, there is a need to go back. The Laginas continued with their search, and there was again a drag by the detector. It occurs later that it is a nice piece of pottery. The pottery, though now old, looks gorgeous. A careful look at it shows that it has some decoration on it. If there's going to be anywhere, it'll surely be on the base. The large pottery was assumed to be a bowl or dish. It was an exciting discovery because there were many pieces. Hoping to find more, they carefully used their hands to dig around the pieces. It was necessary to imagine the archaeological significance of finding the pottery in its original location. They keep their focus on identifying any markings on the pottery anyway. While examining the pottery, Rick kept commenting on how nice it was. It was noticed that the pottery was well made. Looking at it more carefully, it must have been very expensive and used by some rich people. They believed that archaeologists could put the pieces together and clean them up. With this mindset, they keep thinking there might be more pottery in the area. Hence, they are prepared for a more careful search. Positivity and excitement are leading them on the journey. They focus on the beauty and value of pottery. Moving forward, they found what looked like a plate. It was a thin object. By the look of it, it was thought to be a plate room. There is a possibility of finding the maker's marks on it. They keep having a good time exploring and discovering the objects together. So they always make some well-done remarks whenever an object is found. It is necessary to give themselves some commendations, even when the analysis of their discoveries disapproves of them. The work is more challenging to do perfectly. Another piece of pottery was found, which was believed to be much older than the one found in a dish or a bowl. The pottery keeps getting older the deeper they go in the search. Several different types of pottery were found, 1 or 2 vessels that can be reconstructed. Some are quite localized. Important clues that leads to treasure. Rick Lagina and his nephew Alex, Gary Drayton, and Billy Gerhardt continue searching for important clues. They still maintain their lane near the 500-year-old stone road. It is located in the southeast corner of the swamp. In this regard, they keep themselves, but most importantly, Gary busy. The team has found critical clues nearby since first uncovering this massive feature in 2020. Some of these files are ancient pieces of wooden barrels and a stone pathway. Remember that they suggested these objects may have been used long ago to unload valuable cargo onto Oak Island. Now the team hopes to find more of the stone road, and for any valuable clues that may help solve the 229-year-old mystery, they take their time to analyze each of them. Almost immediately, as they began their search, more chains were found. On a good eye, the chain seems all connected and looks old. It seems not to be factory made. It is naturally crude. It seems like the larger one would be to land anything. Then the smaller ones would be for whatever is being done by anyone. But it's hard to tell because of all the crusty parts. Essentially, if anyone is looking for signs of loading and unloading, the person needs some chains like that. On a very cool note, it's a great find. But there's more there to be found. So they have a few other things to check in on. Good luck and good hunting. Moving on to continue inspecting, they found some evidence of iron oxide. They set the item aside for further examination. They conduct a careful and methodical examination. They took the time to consider each piece of evidence and discuss its implications. Looking for more evidence and discussing what they might find, they keep exploring the area carefully and thoughtfully. A black spike that was housed in a piece of wood was discovered. They were fascinated by the discovery. They imagined the significance of their find and what it might mean for their search. It seems to be one of those old roses Ed pinpoints by the look at the top that bevels on it. This would somehow make it pretty old, and it is truly old. It looks like it's from the 1700s or older. Given the analysis of the spike embedded in wood, the possibility of it being part of a ship was revealed and discussed. The implications of their findings and how they might help them understand more about the area's history were also considered. However, the picture of further discoveries and the chance to add to their database of information keeps them excited. It was also discussed that Billy Gerhardt could be correct, that these objects offer evidence of a buried structure before his passing. In 2016, legendary Oak Island treasure hunter Fred Nolan reported to Rick Lagina that he once found evidence of a dam feature in this area, a dam that may have been used to create the swamp. It is important to note that the team found evidence of what Fred believed was hidden under South Shore Road. According to Alex, it will mean a lot to his Uncle Rick. So he keeps on checking what they are digging up. The results of what they found pleased them. They found a lot of interesting artifacts. So they are looking forward to studying them in the lab. The southeast corner of the swamp area where they found the artifacts continues to be remarkable. It was believed that it was a promising location for further discoveries. Jack Begley joined Gary Drayton and Billy Gerhardt, the metal detection experts. He joined them, continuously searching for additional clues and evidence of buried structures near Stone Road. It seems that the area is worth digging into. It has a little bit of an approaching signal, seeing what has been coming out of it. Considering its size, another artifact, assumed to be a wrought iron fastener, was discovered. It was thought to have dated to the 1700s or earlier. This discovery makes them wonder if it is related to Stone Road. It might have once been a part of the ship's pier. It seems to have provided evidence of a buried dam that Fred Nolan had previously claimed to have found 3 decades ago. Here they have a possibility. The possibility of solving a long-standing mystery and finding more evidence of the area's history. This greatly amazes and encourages them the most. The cleaning and analysis of the artifact will be done in the lab. Once cleaned and examined, they will learn how valuable the artifact is. Of course, they are looking forward to seeing that. Rick Craig and members of the team meet with blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg. They met him in the interpretive center to get his assessment of several artifacts that had been recovered during the week in the swamp near Stone Road. During the experiment, it was discovered that the fastener was embedded in the wood and the nails were alongside it. Based on their observations, they do not yet know what the object has been used for. However, they tried to figure out the object's function by analyzing its structure and composition. Things were often driven into walls where there was a need to hang liners or light in tight spaces, like underground, to illuminate the space. They tried to figure out if Carmen Lake's analysis was correct. He said that the fastener may have been used to aid in building a structure in the southeast corner of the swamp. However, there could be more evidence that the brackish bog was artificially made, as Fred Nolan also believed. The next discovery was a big piece of iron. It is not like a spike, but it's a tool called a set. According to speculation, it would be used to drive in pins to down, flush, or countersink. Also, it might have been used to set planking on a ship, possibly in the timber construction of the ship. The iron was said to have dated back to the late 1700s. There's always been speculation that the ship found it in the swamp, which was covered up. The significance of the central link and chains of the found objects must be known. It is good to know why the chains were there. Also, it is good to know whether there were any other artifacts at a greater depth than that. There is a need to interpret the structure and function of the object. With that, it was noted that the hook was very old. They seemed fascinated by the object and were trying to understand its origins and purpose. But all of these remain unknown. Why is it so? Possibly because the hooks made in the later periods have a curve in the shape of a straight shaft coming down, and then the heavy ones curl on the other end. So it was noted that it is still at 1650, even though it can still be dated back to the 1500s. What are these clues? Rick Lagina and his nephew Alex are meeting with Gary Drayton at the Oak Island Interpretive Center. Also, archaeologist Laird Nevin and Argo metallurgist Emma Culligan. They are eager to receive Gary Laird's analysis of a coin. Also, a 500-year-old Venetian bead was found 1 week ago in a large stone foundation near the shoreline on Lot 5. They need to do the analysis check on them. Earlier today, Emma scanned the coin with the SkyScan 1273 CT scanner, which emits non-destructive X-ray radiation to penetrate corrosion and reveal the object's finer details. It seems the right size for a penny or a halfpenny. There is no mistake. An English penny or halfpenny that could date back nearly 3 decades before the discovery of the money pit in 1795. It seems to be the first edition head, possibly from 1760 to 1820. It can be said to be George's 3 Rex. It is possible someone left the object on the foundation, but the reason for doing so remains unknown. It could also be related to the treasure rumored to be buried in Lot 5. With the excitement of the possibility of finding more artifacts, they were determined to keep searching. Also, there is the possibility that the pottery that was earlier found was ancient Chinese porcelain. The Portuguese fleets that traveled through the trade routes could have brought it to the area. If that is truly how it is, it would support Gary Drayton's theory that there is a connection between Stone Road and the Oak Island swamp. What an exciting and significant discovery it would have been. According to documented history, beginning in the early 16th century, Portuguese explorers, including Vasco da Gama, who is also a member of the Portuguese sect of the Knights Templar, made extensive trading expeditions to China. They brought back, among other goods, fine Chinese porcelain, which then became highly traded throughout the region and the Americas. Seeing the age and the crackling on the back, it can be noted that it's been there for quite a while. What they're looking for is to try to establish a connection between these artifacts and the actual physical constructs of Stone Road. The stone path pottery gives great insight into what the feature represents because of the Stone Road. It still needs to be explained. A big chunk was found. As they continued digging, what looked like a teacup was found. But it seems to be in 2 different vessels, a teacup or a bowl. A blue glaze that looked like a Chinese design was found on it. To have enough analyses, they decided and agreed to use hands for more digging. They would also need to go through the fine materials they had found. It was noticed that some of the pottery was different from the rest, with two-tone colors. So it was guessed that it could have been black and brown or brown and tan. They were fascinated by the details of the pottery and excited by the possibilities it presented. At the end of their interesting search in the area, they found what appeared to be the heel of an old shoe or boot. The heel has square nails holding it in place. It was noted that it would have been glued to a more modern shoe. Upon analysis, it was determined to be from the 1800s or earlier. It was an exciting find for them, and they continued to examine the object closely. A lot of people have been on the island. They have spent much time at the end of the road for centuries. Hence, if there's a certain style to this type of chute, since it's close to Stone Road, one may be able to assume who built the road. It is important to understand the artifact's age and the pottery dates. All that they have to say about the mystery needs to be known. That is why they always bring back to the lab all the objects and artifacts they have found so that they can conserve them properly.
Copy you, Tony. That's great news. Do you see anything sticking out from the bottom, anything prominent?
But there are answers there. There's no question about that. Who knows what may be excavated out of that? Who knows how many more items of interest may surface?
What are we going to do? Explain to us what we're going to do.
So we got to excavate a little bit more. We got to chip some of that clay,
right,
and then we can put another set in.
Okay.
Oak Island map that you're showing us, it seems to indicate that someone came here in 1347.
For decades, the Oak Island mystery has charmed treasure hunters with its buried secrets. While many seek riches, Alex Lagina's true quest is uncovering the truth about Oak Island itself. In a candid interview, Alex exposes his genuine motives on Oak Island. What significant revelations does this modern explorer have about the island's artifacts and discoveries? What truths lie buried under centuries of speculation? Join us as we dissect the shocking revelation that Alex Lagina exposed the truth about Oak Island. Alex Lagina just exposed the truth about Oak Island. While most treasure hunters on Oak Island are solely focused on finding valuable treasures to get rich, Alex Lagina has a different goal. In an interview, Alex revealed that his main interest is not actually the treasures themselves. Instead, he wants to verify and confirm the many discoveries and artifacts that have already been found on the island over the years. I would like to see, more than anything, some verification of things that have already been discovered.
All right, and see if we can find anything other than more stones, gravel, and mud.
Alex stated. He understands that historical records are incomplete, and important information may have been lost during all the past digging on Oak Island. Rather than being driven by wealth and riches like the typical treasure hunter, Alex is motivated by a genuine desire to solve the mysteries and validate the history and clues that have been unearthed so far. His approach is about pursuing knowledge and truth, not just money. On Oak Island, Alex Lagina stands out for his sincere interest in confirming the island's discoveries and artifacts. Rather than simply hunting for treasures to make himself rich, his focus is on uncovering the real story behind Oak Island's secrets. From a curious child to a modern-day explorer, Alex Lagina's life has been an extraordinary odyssey. Buckle up as we unravel his captivating tale. The Man at the Steering Wheel, Alex Lagina's Journey. Born in 1987 in Traverse City, Michigan, Alex Lagina's life has been woven with intrigue, adventure, and an unwavering pursuit of knowledge. As the son of renowned treasure hunter and businessman Marty Lagina, Alex's fascination with the mysteries of Oak Island was ignited from a tender age. Growing up in the picturesque town of Traverse City, Alex's childhood was infused with tales of buried riches, ancient artifacts, and the allure of unraveling the mysteries that had baffled generations before him.
What's that?
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Is that the mother lode right there? That looks like it. Yeah, there it is.
No way, I think that is.
His father, Marty, a man driven by an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for discovery, amused young Alex with stories of Oak Island, a small landmass off the coast of Nova Scotia. It had captured the imagination of treasure seekers for centuries. It was through these captivating narratives that Alex's own sense of adventure took root, blossoming into a lifelong passion that would shape his future endeavors. As he navigated the corridors of academia, Alex's thirst for knowledge only deepened. fueling his determination to uncover the secrets that lay buried beneath the surface of Oak Island. After completing his engineering studies at the prestigious University of Michigan, where he honed his analytical skills and developed a keen eye for problem solving, Alex embarked on a path that would lead him back to his roots. His return to Traverse City marked not only a homecoming, but also the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one that would forever intertwine his destiny with the enigmatic allure of Oak Island. Immersing himself in the family's business ventures, Alex quickly became an indispensable asset, lending his expertise and ingenuity to a myriad of projects. However, it was the Lagina family's cherished endeavor, the exploration of Oak Island, that truly captivated his attention and ignited his passion for uncovering the island's long-held secrets. With an unwavering determination and a steadfast belief in the island's potential, Alex joined forces with his father Marty and his uncle Rick to embark on an ambitious quest that would push the boundaries of modern exploration. Their efforts were documented in the hit reality TV series The Curse of Oak Island, thrusting Alex into the spotlight and allowing the world to bear witness to his relentless pursuit of knowledge. As the cameras rolled, Alex's multifaceted talents and expertise came to the forefront. His engineering background proved invaluable in navigating the complex logistical challenges that accompanied their treasure hunt, while his business acumen ensured a strategic and efficient approach to their operations. Yet it was Alex's innate curiosity and fearless spirit that truly set him apart. Undeterred by the obstacles and setbacks that peppered their path, he approached each new discovery with a keen, analytical eye, meticulously piecing together the clues and artifacts that emerged from the depths of Oak Island. Beyond the confines of the island, Alex's life has been one of diverse interests and pursuits. As a skilled entrepreneur, he has lent his expertise to various ventures, including the family's renowned Marty's Vineyard and sustainable energy initiatives, showcasing his commitment to innovation and environmental stewardship.
You guys actually found coconut fiber?
That's incredible.
Moreover, Alex's personal life has been the subject of public speculation, with rumors swirling about his rumored marriage to a fellow history enthusiast named Miriam. Though the couple maintains a private lifestyle, their shared passion for exploration and discovery is said to fuel their partnership and drive their ongoing commitment to unraveling the mysteries of Oak Island. Through it all, Alex Lagina has remained a mysterious figure, a man whose life is a testament to the power of curiosity, determination, and an unwavering pursuit of knowledge. His role in the Oak Island saga has transcended mere entertainment, inspiring a new generation of treasure seekers and reminding us that some mysteries are worth pursuing, no matter how elusive they may seem. As the world watches with bated breath, Alex's journey continues to unfold, each step a testament to his unwavering spirit and his unwavering belief in the transformative power of discovery. For in the depths of Oak Island's secrets lies not merely treasure, but the very essence of human ingenuity, a quest that has captivated generations and will undoubtedly continue to inspire those who dare to dream and seek the unknown. Reality TV stardom, engineering prowess, and a rumored marriage. Alex Lagina's life is full of surprises. Keep watching to uncover fascinating secrets, things the media won't show you about Alex Lagina. A life that involves reality. TV stardom probably isn't something Alex Lagina ever envisioned for himself, but thanks to his father and uncle's insatiable passion for unearthing hidden treasure, that's precisely the path his journey took. Little did he know that his unassuming beginnings in Traverse City, Michigan, would lead him to become a central figure in one of the most captivating treasure hunts of modern times. Luckily for the Lagina family, the apple didn't fall far from the tree, and Alex shares their zeal for treasure hunting. Since joining the cast of The Curse of Oak Island in 2014, he has worked tirelessly alongside his father, Marty, and Uncle Rick in their relentless quest to uncover the island's hidden riches. While their efforts have yet to yield anything of truly remarkable value, their unwavering determination and hopeful spirits refuse to be deterred until they find what they're searching for. First and foremost, let's address the rampant rumors that once circulated about Alex's untimely demise. If there's one thing the internet excels at, it's spreading unsubstantiated gossip about public figures, and Alex found himself caught up in this whirlwind of speculation. A story falsely reported that he had tragically passed away while filming an episode of The Curse of Oak Island. However, this couldn't be further from the truth.
Where is it? Kind of in line with the wall we found last year and a little bit askew of the cave-in bit.
Alex is very much alive and in excellent health, continuing his pursuit of Oak Island's elusive treasures. While treasure hunting may consume a significant portion of his time these days, it wasn't always part of Alex's planned trajectory. Armed with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the prestigious University of Michigan, he initially embarked on a more conventional path. However, fate had other plans, and the allure of Oak Island's mysteries proved too compelling to resist, allowing Alex to put his engineering skills to the ultimate test. What sets Alex apart from his fellow treasure hunters is his unique perspective on the island's potential riches. During an interview with My North, he revealed that his primary interest lies not in the treasures themselves, but in verifying the authenticity of the myriad discoveries and artifacts that have already been uncovered over the years. I would like to see, more than anything, some verification of things that have already been discovered, he stated, acknowledging the fragmentary nature of historical records and the potential for crucial information to have been lost amidst the island's extensive excavations. Despite his public persona as a reality TV star, Alex Lagina remains a fiercely private individual. He's highly selective about the information he shares with the world, carefully curating his public image. Even his Instagram account remains private, boasting fewer than 10,000 followers, a clear indication that he exercises caution in approving new followers and maintains a degree of seclusion from the limelight's glare. While The Curse of Oak Island may be the show that thrust Alex into the public eye, his on-screen experiences extend far beyond the confines of this singular series. From 2017 to 2021, he graced the spin-off series, The Curse of Oak Island, Drilling Down, offering viewers a deeper dive into the exploration efforts. Additionally, in 2019, he appeared on The Curse of Civil War Gold, a show that delved into the search for lost Civil War treasures, showcasing his versatility and broadening his on-screen repertoire. Beneath Alex's calm and collected on-screen persona lies a heart brimming with a love for adventure and the great outdoors. As a trained diver, he has been able to explore Oak Island's submerged depths, gaining a unique perspective on the island's mysteries. While the details of his diving training remain elusive, it's clear that this skill has played a pivotal role in his treasure hunting endeavors, allowing him to venture where few others can. From the viewer's perspective, Alex spends most of his time in front of the camera, but what many may not realize is that he also plays a crucial behind-the-scenes role as an associate producer on The Curse of Oak Island. This dual role not only highlights his multifaceted talents, but also underscores his dedication to shaping the narrative and ensuring the show's authenticity. Additionally, he served as the associate producer for an episode of The Curse of Oak Island, Drilling Down in 2020, further solidifying his impact on the series. Of course, the lure of uncovering centuries-old treasure is a potent motivating factor for Alex's continued exploration of Oak Island. However, it's not the only driving force behind his passion. More than anything, Alex cherishes the opportunity to spend quality time with his father and uncle, forging lasting memories and strengthening the unbreakable bonds of family. The shared experience of delving into Oak Island's mysteries has provided the perfect backdrop for fostering these cherished relationships.
That's the big log.
That is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. Just come out.
As a fiercely private individual, details about Alex's personal life are scarce. However, rumors have swirled suggesting that he might be in a romantic relationship with a woman named Catherine Sneed. Unfortunately, credible information about the nature of their connection remains elusive, shrouded in mystery much like the island itself. Nonetheless, the mere existence of such speculations speaks volumes about the public's enduring fascination with the personal lives of those who have captured their imaginations through their on-screen exploits. Finally, While Oak Island's allure may have consumed much of Alex's focus, it's important to note that his entrepreneurial spirit extends far beyond the realm of treasure hunting. As an integral part of the family's wine business, Marty Vineyards, founded by his father Marty, Alex showcases his versatility and business acumen, seamlessly navigating multiple industries with equal dedication and expertise. As the Lagina family's quest on Oak Island continues to captivate audiences worldwide, Alex's role as a modern-day explorer and treasure hunter will undoubtedly cement his place in the annals of history. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour of reality, television lies a multifaceted individual whose journey is a testament to the power of perseverance, curiosity, and the innate human desire to unravel the mysteries that have eluded generations before. With each new discovery and each obstacle overcome, Alex serves as an inspiration to those who dare to dream big and embrace the unknown, reminding us all that some treasures are worth the arduous journey. Two brothers, one shared dream, unraveling Oak Island's centuries-old mystery. Get ready to delve into the extraordinary lives of the Lagina twins. Stay tuned. The Twin Adventurers, the iconic Lagina brothers. At less than 1 mile long and 1,000 feet wide, the diminutive Oak Island in Nova Scotia has played host to the world's longest-running and most expensive quest for hidden treasure. Americans Rick and Marty Lagina are the latest treasure hunters to embrace this challenge, spending nearly a decade scouring the island. Their progress has been meticulously documented on the Sky History show The Curse of Oak Island, now in its 11th season.
Structures all over the place. We're finding out about all kinds of things that we didn't know were there.
The show's global success has catapulted the Lagina brothers into the limelight, fueling public curiosity about their lives. With such fame comes public curiosity, and we set out to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about the Lagina brothers. First, how did the Lagina brothers amass their wealth? In 2006, Rick and Marty acquired a 50% stake in Oak Island Tours Inc., the company that owns the island, with Oak Island resident Dan Blankenship retaining the other 50%. That marked the beginning of their treasure hunting days. Before that, the brothers had pursued vastly different careers. Born in Kingsford, Michigan, Marty studied science and mechanical engineering at Michigan Tech. After graduating in 1977, he joined Amoco Production Company, a major oil firm, as an engineer. While working there, he earned a law degree from the University of Michigan in 1982. He then founded his own company, Terra Energy Limited, which became a pioneer in natural gas extraction. As a result, the company grew into one of the biggest shale gas operators in Michigan. In 1995, Marty sold Terra Energy to CMS Energy for around $60 million. With the proceeds, he purchased shares of Chartwell Properties, LLC, becoming the main shareholder. He also used some of the money to launch Heritage Sustainable, a clean energy provider, in 2004. The company has since blossomed into one of the largest providers of renewable energy in Michigan and one of the largest wind turbine companies in the Midwest. Also, in the early 2000s, Marty established a wine production company in Michigan, initially a 3-acre winery called Row 7. It has now expanded into Villa Marty Vineyards, encompassing over 60 acres of vineyards. Like his younger brother, Rick hailed from Kingsford, Michigan. He was a U.S. postal worker before retiring and taking up the hunt on Oak Island. A fiercely private individual, little is known about his life beyond that. The second question we'll address is, are the Lagina brothers married? Marty is married to Olivia, and they have 2 children, Alex and Maddie. The Curse of Oak Island fans will recognize Alex as a team member on the hunt. As mentioned earlier, Rick is an extremely private person who has not publicly discussed his relationship status or family. Another frequently asked question about this duo is, why did the Lagina brothers venture to Oak Island? At the age of 11, Rick used to visit the local library weekly. On one such visit, he picked up and read the January 1965 edition of Reader's Digest. He came across an article about Oak Island mentioning the legend of the treasure supposedly buried there, including details about the famed money pit. From that moment on, Rick was captivated and became obsessed with uncovering the mystery. Marty was also intrigued by Oak Island, but was more skeptical than his older brother. However, Marty wanted his brother to achieve his lifelong goal, so he provided the majority of the funding to purchase the stake in Oak Island Tours, Inc. Multiple online sources estimate Rick's net worth to be around $10 million, the majority of which has been earned since the Curse of Oak Island began in 2014.
There's a story here. I believed it when I was 11 years old, and I believe it now.
Before the TV show's debut, Marty's net worth was estimated to be around $40 to $60 million. However, the show's resounding success has led most estimates to soar as high as $100 million. People have also asked, how much have the Lagina brothers spent on Oak Island? The sum that Rick and Marty paid to gain a 50% share of Oak Island Tours Incorporated has always been undisclosed. However, estimates have been made about their annual expenditure on drilling and digging operations. The brothers were granted their treasure trove license in July 2010, allowing them to commence their search at the end of that same year. Being a purely summer endeavor due to Nova Scotia's harsh winters that make digging near impossible, the brothers have currently had almost 15 summers searching on Oak Island. They're known for employing sophisticated technology and enlisting global experts to aid in their quest, none of which come cheaply. The amount they've spent has clearly increased over the years, with the Curse of Oak Island showcasing bigger and better tech arriving on the island every season. Another question that has baffled many Oak Island fans worldwide is, what is the most expensive equipment the Lagina brothers have utilized on Oak Island? The massive drilling rigs, worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, which continue to grow in size with each new season, are undoubtedly the most expensive pieces of equipment that the brothers have brought onto the island. The excavators and diggers they've used to move earth come in a close second. Until the end of Series 5, the brothers had uncovered several historically significant items. In Series 1, after draining a man-made swamp, they discovered a Spanish 8 Maravedis coin dating to 1652. In the same series, they also found non-indigenous coconut fibers, discovered after diving into Smith's Cove. This discovery hinted that the original creators of the Money Pit originated from more tropical lands. Series 5 saw what was arguably the biggest find of the whole show, a medieval lead cross that could literally rewrite history if it could help prove evidence that the Knights Templar visited Nova Scotia. A metal detector also uncovered an old jewelry fragment containing a 500-year-old rhodolite garnet stone, while the Money Pit yielded 2 human bones. DNA sequencing revealed one of the bones came from someone with Middle Eastern ancestry, boosting the link with the Knights Templar and Oak Island. A piece of leather was also found, suggested to be from bookbinding, aiding the theory that the treasure under Oak Island could perhaps be some sort of manuscript. Strange artifacts, tantalizing clues, and endless theories. Oak Island's attraction has captivated generations. Let's explore the mystery that keeps drawing treasure hunters back. Don't go anywhere. The mystery of Oak Island. Oak Island is a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, that has puzzled treasure hunters for over 200 years. Strange discoveries on the island have led many to believe there is an incredible treasure buried underground, just waiting to be found. 2 brothers, Marty and Rick Lagina, are the latest and most determined hunters trying to solve the Oak Island mystery once and for all. Since 2014, their quest has been documented on the reality TV show The Curse of Oak Island on the History Channel.
To me, I'm not going to get real eloquent, and everybody knows I'm pretty shy, but I do want to say that,
Each episode follows Marty, Rick, and their team as they use modern technology and techniques to search the island for clues about the possible treasure. They focus on key areas like the Money Pit, Borehole 10X, Smith's Cove, and the Swamp, all places where people have found strange objects or hints of man-made underground structures over the decades. While no massive treasure vault has been uncovered yet, the team has made some fascinating finds that keep them going year after year. These include an ancient Spanish coin, a piece of paper with medieval writing, a bone fragment, and an object that could be an old Roman sword. Each new artifact adds another puzzling layer to the Oak Island mystery. The brothers are driven by their determination to finally solve the riddles and discover whatever wealth or historical artifacts may be hidden beneath the island's surface. The obsessive search is costly and difficult, but they are committed to not giving up. With each dead end and new clue, theories emerge about what the island could be concealing. Pirate treasures, treasures from ancient societies like the Knights Templar, booby traps, or even supernatural forces protecting the underground secrets. No matter what roadblocks they hit, Marty, Rick, and their team persist in their captivating hunt, drawn in by Oak Island's inexplicable pull. As long as the island's true mysteries remain unsolved, the curse and allure of Oak Island will continue for these treasure hunters. One of the most intriguing aspects of the curse of Oak Island is the wide array of theories and conjectures that have emerged over the years. The show explores various hypotheses through conversations with independent researchers, each offering their unique perspective on the mystery. Zena Halpern, a researcher featured on the show, presented her theory about North African gold and shared copies of a French map of the island that she claimed dated back to 1347. J. Hutton Pulitzer discussed his theory about ancient mariner visitations, while Peter Amundsen explored the possibility of codes hidden in Shakespearean literature and a secret project involving Sir Francis Bacon and the Rosicrucians. Other notable theories include Daniel Ronstam's hypothesis about the 90-foot stone being a dual cipher containing instructions on how to defeat the Money Pit flood tunnels with corn.
I don't know. I've always said there's only one way to make that determination in others, and that's to find the one thing.
And the ideas of authors Kathleen McGowan and Alan Butler, who suggested the involvement of the fabled Knights Templar treasure and the relocation of historical religious artifacts to the island. Additionally, John O'Brien presented his theory that the island contains treasures of the Aztec Empire, while Zena Halpern, without evidence, suggested that the Templars worshipped the Phoenician goddess Tanit. These diverse theories and conjectures add an extra layer of intrigue to the show, as viewers are exposed to various perspectives and interpretations of the Oak Island mystery. Each theory is carefully examined and discussed, allowing viewers to form their own opinions and speculate about the potential answers that may lie beneath the island's surface. Behind every great treasure hunt is a dedicated crew. Discover the remarkable individuals fueling the relentless pursuit of Oak Island's secrets. Don't miss it. The diversified team powering the Oak Island journeys. At the center of the long-running effort to solve the Oak Island mystery are two determined brothers and the team of experts they've assembled over the years. This group's shared passion and diverse skills are the driving forces that keep the treasure hunt moving forward despite endless obstacles. Rick and Marty Lagina are the brothers who lead the charge. As a kid, Rick first learned about the Oak Island legend from a magazine article about the famous Money Pit and an ancient buried treasure thought to be there. He quickly got his younger brother Marty just as excited about the tantalizing prospect of riches hidden on the small Canadian island. For decades, their childhood dream drove them to eventually purchase part ownership of Oak Island and spearhead the modern attempt to solve its secrets. Rick's unrelenting enthusiasm and belief that monumental treasures are buried there motivate the entire team. Now retired from his job as a postal worker, Rick's positive energy and determination are vital in overcoming every new setback on Oak Island. His steadfast confidence that major treasures await them under the island is what inspires everyone to dig deeper. While Rick provides the vision, his older brother Marty handles the crucial financial management. As a savvy businessman who owns vineyards and wineries, Marty secures the funding to sustain the enormously expensive operation. His level-headed decision-making ensures they invest in the cutting-edge technology and top experts needed to thoroughly pursue the quest. Rounding out the core team is a rotating array of acclaimed researchers, archaeologists, engineers, scientists, and skilled tradesmen. Each professional brings specialized knowledge to help unravel the mysteries. From analyzing centuries-old artifacts to using advanced geophysical scanning equipment, their collective expertise allows the team to comprehensively investigate every promising lead. Fueled by Rick's contagious zeal, Marty's resourcefulness, and their colleagues' diverse talents, this passionate crew has made the painstaking pursuit of Oak Island's riches their life's mission. The island's grip on them only tightens with each enigmatic clue. Regardless of whether epic treasures or profound history are awaiting below, their bonded obsession to finally unmask Oak Island's secrets is their greatest treasure of all. While the Lagina brothers are the public faces of the operation,
we had walked by that stone many times, and it took Tori, a fellow from Reflex, who was doing the inclinometer work in the money pit, to notice it and to bring it to our attention.
Their quest would not have been possible without the contributions of two individuals who have dedicated their lives to unraveling the Oak Island enigma, Dan and Dave Blankenship. Dan Blankenship, a true Oak Island legend, first set foot on the island in the 1960s, captivated by the same Reader's Digest article that inspired the Laginas. For nearly 5 decades, he poured his heart and soul into the search, drilling the infamous borehole 10X and even diving to its bottom, a remarkable feat considering the shaft's depth of 235 feet. Although Dan passed away in 2019 at the age of 95, his wealth of knowledge and unwavering spirit continue to guide the team's efforts. Walking in his father's footsteps is Dave Blankenship, a permanent resident of Oak Island and Dan's trusted partner in the quest. Dave's intimate knowledge of the island's terrain and his experiences assisting his father since the 1970s have proven invaluable to the modern-day expedition. Despite partial paralysis resulting from an industrial accident, Dave's determination and resilience have been an inspiration to all, exemplifying the resolute spirit that defines the Oak Island treasure hunters. Joining the core team are individuals whose expertise has been instrumental in advancing the search. Craig Tester, Marty Lagina's business partner and an engineer by trade, brings an analytical and methodical approach to the operation. His stepson, Jack Begley, has earned a reputation for taking on dirtier jobs, manually sifting through spoils, and venturing into treacherous areas with an unwavering commitment to uncovering every possible clue. Alex Lagina, Marty's son and a qualified diver, has played a pivotal role in the underwater explorations, lending his skills to the team's efforts. Dan Henske, another longtime Oak Island treasure hunter, and Charles Barkhouse, an Oak Island historian and tour guide, have provided invaluable insights and historical context, helping to piece together the puzzle that has confounded generations. As the expedition's scope grew, the team recognized the need for specialized expertise, welcoming a diverse array of professionals and researchers to lend their knowledge and talents. Terry Matheson, a local geologist, has been instrumental in analyzing cuttings and cores from the various boreholes on the island. Laird Niven, an archaeologist, joined the team to provide crucial archaeological oversight, ensuring that the excavations adhered to proper protocols and preservation guidelines. Gary Drayton, a metal detecting expert from Florida, has played a pivotal role in uncovering tantalizing artifacts that have fueled the team's determination. His skills and keen eye have led to the discovery of precious coins, ancient remnants, and other intriguing clues that have shed light on the island's mysterious past.
But there are answers there. There's no question about that. Who knows what may be excavated out of that? Who knows how many more items of interest may surface?
The team has also relied on the expertise of recurring specialists, such as Tony Sampson, a local dive master and Freemason, who has been instrumental in exploring the island's underwater landscapes. Dr. Krista Brosseau, a chemist from St. Mary's University in Halifax, has played a crucial role in analyzing the artifacts and materials found during the excavations, helping to unlock their secrets and unravel their origins. While brothers Rick and Marty Lagina lead the charge, they couldn't pursue the Oak Island mystery without the help of a wide-ranging team of experts and researchers supporting the effort in different ways. Beyond just the crew doing physical excavation work on the island itself, some scholars and authors have provided crucial theories and historical context over the years. Zena Halpern, a researcher based in New York, uncovered ancient maps and evidence suggesting the legendary Knights Templar Order may have hidden treasures on Oak Island centuries ago. Writer Randall Sullivan deeply studied all the previous expeditions, offering a big-picture view of the island's long history of treasure hunts. Contributions from specialists like these have continually given the Lagina team new angles to investigate and freshen their determination when hitting dead ends. Theories about complex codes, booby traps, Eucharistic artifacts, or supernatural elements have all emerged from studying the extensive research around Oak Island's mysteries. What makes this diverse group of minds a true working team is the chemistry and camaraderie binding them together, beyond just sharing expertise. On the island, the work environment involves plenty of friendly joking and good-natured ribbing between the different players, helping keep spirits up despite the grueling conditions. At the center are Rick and Marty themselves as contrasting personality types united in pursuit of their shared childhood dream. Rick's infectious enthusiasm and confidence that grand treasures await keep the team's morale soaring. Marty's level-headed business savvy and money management provide crucial resource support. Collectively, it's this devoted team's potent mix of knowledge, manpower, resources, and most of all their persevering spirit that inspires fans worldwide to tune in. As obstacles arise, viewers witness the bonds of friendship and determination driving this eclectic group to push forward, making the treasure quest about more than just potential riches, an insatiable human drive to unravel the inexplicable.
To what is an incredible mystery. And remember where the journey started. That little 5 pages. That's where the journey started.
Okay, bring him up.
In the world of treasure hunting on Oak Island, Marty and Rick Lagina shine as contemporary explorers, renowned for their adventurous pursuits and roles in the acclaimed TV series The Curse of Oak Island. Their shared passion for unraveling the island's ancient secrets has catapulted them to fame. However, beneath their shared journey lies a puzzling contrast. Marty Lagina's wealth far exceeds that of his brother Rick. This wealth gap raises intriguing questions about their relationship dynamics and the factors contributing to Marty's financial success. Join us as we take a look into the unique circumstances that have led to Marty Lagina's greater wealth than his brother Rick. The famous brothers hunting for treasures. Since its 2014 History Channel premiere, the exciting TV series The Curse of Oak Island, which is set on a Nova Scotian island and stars the Lagina brothers, has captured viewers' attention and piqued their curiosity about the brothers' financial success, particularly because it appears that Marty is significantly wealthier than his brother Rick.
Yeah, there it is. No way. No way, I think that is.
Always keep your eyes open on Oak Island. You'll never know when the island gives you a clue.
The story of the Curse of Oak Island is deeply rooted in history, dating back to the late 18th century. The legend centers on the belief that a valuable treasure, possibly including pirate booty or holy artifacts, is buried beneath the island's surface. The mystery surrounding Oak Island is marked by numerous failed attempts to uncover its secrets, leading to the belief in a so-called curse that befalls those who seek the treasure, hence the title of the series. The latest attempt to solve the mystery surrounding Oak Island began when 13-year-old Rick Lagina from Michigan came upon the island's legends and tales in an article titled Oak Island's Mysterious Money Pit in the January 1965 edition of the Reader Digest. At the center of the mystery is the infamous Money Pit, a deep, man-made shaft that has been the subject of numerous excavations. As of late 2023, 6 people had tragically lost their lives in the pursuit of the treasure. Daniel McGuinness, then 16 years old, made the initial discovery of the strange depression in the ground in 1795. He and his 2 friends set out to explore the site with great anticipation, making intriguing discoveries every 10 feet. They came across oak platforms that added to the mysteries surrounding the site, but they stopped when it became too difficult to continue.
Beautiful, cold day, unloading a tractor trailer, 35-ton crane, 5 tons rolling down the hill, and I turned around and got hit behind the...
Since then, other treasure seekers have visited the island on occasion, but none are known to have been successful in their quest. A passage from the article's conclusion clarified why readers never gave up trying to solve the riddle. It must have been well worth the effort for someone to go to such lengths to bury something there, unless he was the greatest practical joker ever. Rick read the story to his 10-year-old brother Marty because he thought it was so fascinating, and Marty claimed afterward that he had caught Rick's enthusiasm through osmosis. Young boys who enjoyed adventure stories, especially those from the Hardy Boys books, were drawn to Oak Island by the allure of hidden treasures and the island's history. The Lagina brothers and their team, now known as the Fellowship of the Dig, began a mission to solve the island's mystery. and over the years, they made some fascinating discoveries in and around the money pit. The brothers' perseverance, together with the efforts of a group of specialists and treasure hunters, laid the groundwork for what would turn into one of the most captivating and enduring television shows ever. Although many fascinating artifacts have been discovered on Oak Island, the real treasure hasn't been located. Beyond the thrilling adventure that comes with finding hidden treasures, the gems that are speculated to be hidden in Oak Island are truly rare and worthwhile. Theories in finding the treasures of Oak Island. The Lagina brothers' determination to locate wealth is explained by several theories that have been proposed about its nature. The most popular hypothesis connects Oak Island to the 17th century pirate Captain Kidd. According to local legend, a sailor on the Kidd's crew who was on his last leg supposedly stated that £2 million worth of treasure was buried there. Some theories link the treasure on Oak Island to the Knights Templar, a medieval Christian military order. It is speculated that the Templars, who were thought to possess significant wealth and knowledge, may have hidden their treasures, religious artifacts, or historical documents on the island, including the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. In the 19th century, treasure hunters unearthed the stone from the money pit with inscriptions reading 40 feet below £2 million. Some people believe that the Oak Island money pit is a Knights Templar construction, even though there is no record of the Knights ever crossing the Atlantic. For years, there has been a theory that the famous playwright William Shakespeare could have been Francis Bacon, a claim supported by ardent Baconian supporters. This theory began to emerge in the 19th century when Bacon's followers suggested that Francis was the author of most of Shakespeare's plays and believed that the original manuscripts were mysteriously hidden in an Oak Island vault alongside Francis's valuables.
We have something that's carved by the human hand in a very unique place, and it may have codes or ciphers within it.
Yeah.
Could be someone who brought his experience creating cathedrals and Templar churches.
Speculation surrounding this theory was stoked by clues such as the discovery of mercury during early expeditions, which Bacon was associated with, and the connection to the Knights Templar. In the first season, following the construction of a swamp, the group discovered a Spanish 8 Maravedis coin from 1652. While exploring Smith's Cove that same season, they uncovered the fascinating discovery of non-indigenous coconut fibers. This discovery raised the possibility that the money pit's original designers had connections to more tropical areas. The most important discovery of the 5th season of the show may have been the discovery of a medieval league cross that has the power to change history by demonstrating the presence of Templar Knights in Nova Scotia. A 500-year-old right garnet stone was discovered within a piece of historic jewelry that was discovered using a metal detector. Moreover, when DNA testing on 2 human bones recovered from the money pit showed that one of them had Middle Eastern heritage, it further cemented the link between Oak Island and the Knights Templar. Notable finds from later seasons include an elaborate bracelet with a stone in the center. Testing indicated that it was made entirely of copper and gold, making it the first piece of gold discovered on the island. The glass gem may be 500 years old. Furthermore, a heavy iron spike thought to have been used to secure ships to rocks was discovered. It dates to the period between 1710 and 1740, possibly connecting it to a French expedition during that time. Remarkably, the expedition's leader had a family history dating back to the Knights Templar. Treasure hunting on Oak Island is not an unrestricted activity, and access to the island is limited. It is privately held, and individuals, organizations, or other entities with the required permits have overseen the treasure-seeking operations that have occurred there. When Marty found Oak Island for sale in a magazine while he was in Florida, he was thrilled. He called his brother Rick, and the two of them visited with an agent in the hopes of purchasing the island. Nevertheless, they pursued the owners, David Tobias and Dan Blankenship, unfazed when it became apparent that the advertisement for sale was false. Rick and Marty were successful in purchasing half of Oak Island after David decided to sell his share, but there was a catch. Dan had the last say on any sale.
Number one, there's treasure on Oak Island. And number two, I think I'm going to be instrumental in discovering it.
The brothers and Lagina had met Dan when they were clearing the island and had gotten along well because they both loved treasure hunting. Before the Oak Island Treasure Act was passed in 2010, allowing people to obtain licenses for treasure hunting, Canada's Treasure Trove Act was revoked, making it illegal for anyone to search for treasure there. The agreement stated that 90% of the treasure found would go to the Linas and their partners, with the remaining 10% going to the Canadian government along with any artifacts. As a result, they made little progress in their quest. The precise expenses of the Lagina brothers' Oak Island treasure hunt are unknown, but their commitment to the endeavor is demonstrated by the enormous investments they, their team, and other investors made, as documented in The Curse of Oak Island. Although precise numbers are unavailable, approximations indicate that the Lagina brothers have invested millions of dollars in their treasure hunting endeavors. These costs are extensive and include hiring specialized teams, cutting-edge technology, and conducting excavation research. It is noteworthy that this project covers several seasons, resulting in increasing expenses that highlight their steadfast dedication to discovering Oak Island's mysteries. Perhaps beyond the rumored treasures, one of the most fascinating things about Oak Island is its alleged curse. Oak Island's terrifying curse. The Truro Company's excavation of the Money Pit coincided with the emergence of the earliest reports of the Oak Island curse. Since decades went by between the beginning of the hunt and the first mention of the curse, its roots are unknown. But the first recorded demise related to the Oak Island riches was in the early 1860s, when a man lost his life by the blowout of a steam-driven pump that was used to empty the Money Pit. More trenches were opened at Oak Island as a result of increased interest in the exciting and dangerous pursuit. However, these did little more than conceal the true location of the treasure. A tiny piece of parchment with what looked to be the initials 6th on it was found by searchers in 1897. It's unclear if the Harvard University specialist's confirmation of the paper's authenticity indicates that it was a genuine folio containing secrets or a remnant from earlier island residents. In 1897, a guy lost his life after falling, which was the second treasure hunting related passing. Gases from beneath caused the deaths of 4 more persons in 1965. But the mystery surrounding Oak Island's wealth did not stop there. It was stated that before the true treasure was found, 7 individuals would have to lose their lives. Some have tried to dig tunnels in other parts of the island, while others have focused their efforts on trying to avoid the flood tunnel booby traps.
See that? That's a substantial amount of water coming through there. Water coming out?
Yeah. I think this is the flood tunnel system, the finger drain that they've recorded, that everyone talked about.
The somewhat ludicrous claims of a curse truly took hold on the island, with at least 6 individuals having passed. Treasure-seeking technology has come a long way since Daniel McGuinness's day. The first steam pumps emerged in the 1860s, but they could not keep up with the continuous onslaught of floodwater. With boring equipment and divers, the Old Gold Salvage Group visited the Money Pit in 1909 in search of riches, but like their predecessors, they came away from Oak Island empty-handed. Remarkably, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a budding lawyer, was among the Old Gold Salvage Group members. Even after the group's defeat, Roosevelt is said to have been fascinated by the happenings on the island for the rest of his life. Even in 1939, he had planned a journey there, but the outbreak of the Second World War forced him to postpone it. FDR wasn't the first well-known person to get engaged in the mystery surrounding Oak Island, even though it would be impossible to cover every mission in this film. Notable stars Errol Flynn and John Wayne made financial contributions to a number of missions as well. In the 1930s, King George VI of England, who was similarly intrigued by the island's mysteries, is reported to have instructed 2 treasure seekers to report their discovery directly to him. Not everyone believes the tales coming out of Oak Island, however. Some have expressed serious doubts and shared theories that suggest that the whole thing is perhaps the greatest hoax in history. Doubts about Oak Island's treasure. Oak Island has acquired the nickname Hoax Island due to the absence of any supporting records for any of the discoveries that have been reported. The history of Oak Island is a subject of great discussion and misunderstanding. Prior to the first documented excavations in the early 1860s, conducted by the Onslow Group and a group of young locals, there was no hard proof that anyone had ever found anything valuable on the island. The stories about earlier or later digging are mostly based on hearsay and first-hand accounts from people who say they were part of or saw them. Among the more puzzling aspects of Oak Island folklore is the inscription stone, which is said to have been found at a depth of 90 feet in the 1800s. There are substantial doubts about the authenticity and significance of this stone, despite the fact that many believe it to be holding a clue or message about wealth. Not only was the stone not listed in the Oak Island Treasure Company's 1893 investment prospectus, which listed all the known facts and discoveries on the island, but it was not officially registered as found until 1862.
They list Kidd's treasure. It was written in pen right there. Even back then, they believed that Captain Kidd's treasure was buried on Oak Island. It was obviously recognized as a treasure site by the mapmaker even.
The 1949 image of the stone that has survived is the only one that is based on a dubious translation. No drawing or photo was ever taken of the stone itself or its inscriptions. Another controversial part of the Oak Island story is the curse that is supposed to fall upon the island and its treasure seekers. However, Christina Downs, PhD, managing editor of Indiana University's Journal of Folklore Research, cautions treasure hunters against taking these assertions at face value. She notes that in order to enhance mystique and authenticity, enigmatic codes and curses are occasionally made up. In his well-known podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan expressed his doubts about the existence of the riches on Oak Island. He has expressed doubts about how the Lagina brothers, who own a sizable chunk of the island and are featured in a reality TV show about their hunt, could have spent 10 seasons and millions of dollars looking for anything. He has implied that the riches may merely be a fabrication, a swindle, or a wild goose chase. Experienced treasure hunter Dan Blankenship had yet another hypothesis. He claimed to have discovered signs of habitation all around Oak Island. That's why he thought the Money Pit region had been purposefully constructed as a ruse. He believed it was intended to keep everyone's attention on that one location, and it had proven to be tremendously effective. Nevertheless, there is still a certain amount of uncertainty regarding Oak Island's actuality. Retired marine geologist Gordon Fader and historian Joy A. Steele have demonstrated that Oak Island was home to a covert British manufacturing hub. The two concluded that to help pay off debt, the Crown had private entrepreneurs, and the British military established businesses on Oak Island in 1720 after going through corporate documents and contemporaneous communications. These companies included wire drawing, metal fabrication, and the pine tar industry. According to Fader, there were 1 million reasons to visit Oak Island. It was the biggest island in the bay, the closest freshwater, the safest anchorage, and at the time, the largest industrial development in Canada. Steele and Fader are certain that the British used the Money Pit, a naturally occurring geological structure on the island, to produce pitch and tar for coating their ships. As per Fader's findings, the wood, charcoal and putty discovered in the Money Pit's excavated levels align with the contents of an antiquated tar kiln. He says the U-shaped structure buried on Smith's Cove was most likely part of a storage shed where pine tar was kept in barrels and out of the sun. Fader asserts that pine tar was required back then, as it is today.
Mystery number one, no tops and no sides of the tunnel. Did somebody remove them? Why? Did somebody do it intentionally so the thing would collapse? Why?
He went on to say that ships wouldn't even leave port if they didn't have a coating of pine tar. According to Fader, this is exactly what the islanders were doing, and their theory is supported by the things they found. The surrounding geological features offer additional evidence against the existence of a man-made money pit. According to Fader, the island's bedrock is susceptible to dissolution by the sea and water table. This results in the formation of a karst system, which is a network of underground caves and fissures that is vulnerable to collapsing and sinkhole formation. According to Fader, a marine geologist with the Canadian government who studied the subsurface conditions around the coast of Nova Scotia. Sinkholes are common in the area. On the adjacent mainland, there are many sinkholes, and at least 2 have been discovered on Oak Island. Based on natural evidence, the Money Pit is a sinkhole, according to geoscientist Stephen Aitken, PhD, who has studied the Oak Island region for over 25 years. Aitken, who concurs with Fader, states that a karst system has been formed due to localized decomposition of the bedrock beneath that side of the island. That system contains sinkholes similar to the Money Pit because some caves have collapsed. Despite the legend that the Money Pit is evidence of a booby trap, groundwater seeping in from the island's underlying sands causes it to overflow naturally in that part of Oak Island. At the Money Pit, Charles Barkhouse played down the possibility of a treasure vault or booby traps, arguing that these features have a scientific explanation. Though the reality is less fascinating, he assured everyone he didn't aim to break their bubble. Charles, a treasure hunter and historian with over 20 years of experience on the Oak Island search, feels that complex concepts and reasoned explanations don't have to contradict one another. He argues that if anything, the geology of the island has swept the treasure that lay hidden beneath the surface, adding to the mystery. Information acquired on the site further suggests that the wealth is so extraordinary that many parties have been associated with it over the ages. According to Charles, every step you take on the island is a stroll through history. He underlined the intricacy of the island, saying that no single hypothesis could satisfactorily explain the discoveries. The allure of real riches, be it the Ark of Covenant, the Holy Grail, or a large bank of pirates, overshadows any other finds made on Oak Island. It might never end. The obsession with money may be worthwhile, as one recorded treasure hunter opined in 1862.
Every time we dig in the swamp, we find something. Haven't found the answer we seek yet, but it clearly played a role in what happened on Oak Island.
However, it would be the greatest practical joke in history if it turned out that the riches were a fraud, with countless treasure seekers unnecessarily digging up holes. So why and how does Marty acquire his riches? Why Marty is significantly richer than his brother. Marty Lagina was born in Kingsford, Michigan on August 26, 1955. He graduated from Michigan Technological University with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and the University of Michigan Law School with a doctorate in law. His entrepreneurial spirit led him and his friend Craig Tester to co-found Terra Energy, a company specializing in natural gas exploration, of which he served as CEO. Their knowledge and skills helped Terra become one of the energy industry's notable successes, with a portfolio exceeding $3 billion that included both natural gas and oil resources. During the 1990s, Terra Energy held the title of being the largest gas well operator in Michigan. At the height of Terra Energy's value in 1995, they sold it to CMS Energy for around $60 million. Marty utilized a portion of the earnings from this sale to buy shares in Charwell Properties LLC, becoming the company's principal stakeholder and launching a significant career change. In 2004, Marty, who was 40 years old at the time, and Craig Tester founded Heritage Sustainable Energy. Their mission was to provide renewable energy to every part of the United States, and they set an ambitious target of installing equipment that could provide nearly 60,000 homes with clean, locally sourced energy on a yearly basis. Heritage has installed and is currently operating several wind and solar energy facilities that together generate 200 megawatts of clean power for homes, according to the company's official website. They also have an impressive lineup of ongoing projects that promise to bring hundreds more megawatts of clean energy to communities all over the country. Craig takes on the role of vice president, and Marty acts as the company's chief executive and owner of the majority interest. Together, they have made significant contributions to the advancement of clean, sustainable energy in the US. In the world of winemaking, Marty Lagina, the founder of Mary Vineyards, is renowned for his audacious decisions. He set out on a mission to create remarkable 100% estate wines, bringing great and uncommon varieties that had never been tried on the Old Mission Peninsula. Inspired by his Italian grandmother, Teresa Mary, after whom the winery is named, Marty planted European grapes that were not traditionally associated with Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and rice.
We specialize in reds here, but we make some really good whites as well. And the idea here is that these have a lot less surface to volume, so you don't want to over-oak Chardonnay or over-oak.
The Lagina family's desire was realized through the utilization of nearer hoop house technology and innovative wine-producing procedures. The journey started in 1999, when the first vineyard was planted a short distance from the winery. This action-packed weekend produced their flagship Wine Row 7, which was formally introduced in 2006 after growing to become Mary Vineyard's most cherished and well-liked wine, winning over wine enthusiasts with its superb quality and distinctive blend. Marty Lagina has diversified his investments and interests. His most well-known endeavor is without a doubt the treasure hunt on Oak Island. He and his brother Rick have invested a great deal of money in uncovering the mysteries of the island. When the time came, they and their partners owned 78% of the land, which allowed them to start Oak Island Tours Incorporated, even before the TV show. Despite the gap in wealth between the brothers, they share a love for adventures and exploration. Rick and Marty's Oak Island dreams. Determining Marty Lagina's wealth can be difficult because private individuals' net worth figures are frequently speculative. However, the company became the gateway for tourists eager to explore the island's legends and enigmatic past due to the fabled treasure and mysterious curse that had drawn in tourists. Marty's estimated net worth before the TV show's debut was $60 million due to his well-known career business endeavors and investments. However, the show's success has caused the estimations to rise, reaching as high as $100 million. Rick Lagina, who was born in Kingsford, Michigan on January 25, 1952, is fascinated by history, just like his brother. Mysteries and treasure hunting. Despite being on a reality show, he keeps his personal life very quiet. The only thing that is known about him is that he was a U.S. Postal Service employee in Michigan before embarking on a life-changing journey to Oak Island. Since he is deeply involved in the reality TV show and is driven to solve the mystery surrounding Oak Island, Rick's financial situation is closely related to these activities. As of right now, his estimated net worth is $10 million, which is significantly less than that of his brother Martin. However, it is important to proceed cautiously when interpreting these estimates because they are speculative and might not fully account for Rick's financial endeavors. The Lagina brothers are fully aware that everything they have strived for may come to naught.
The real core of the Oak Island story is who, why, when, where, how. That's what really got me.
Following the motto once and forever, Rick is ready to join the ranks of the committed people who came before him and failed to find the main treasure once they sense that no progress is being made, and they know that it's time to pass the torch. However, he still had to be realistic about it in the event that he had to leave the project. But he refuses to give up hope that his team will not be the last in a long line of Oak Island explorers. Lagina is adamant that there is a historically significant story that has yet to be discovered and told to the world. For those who believe that the TV show is the only reason the quest for treasure continues, they couldn't be further from the truth. Those who knew the brothers and followed their journey believed that long after they stopped filming, the Linus would continue their search for the treasure and that it would be difficult to walk away from it all. The producers persuaded them to accept the offer, perhaps by appealing to the brothers' primary motivations for their Oak Island adventure. On the plus side, opening the island to viewers has been a rewarding experience, and the brothers find it heartening that others have embraced the island's mystery as much as they have. Rick stated that they had been pursuing this treasure hunt for about 3 years before the production company approached them to do the show. The relentless pursuit of the Oak Island mystery by Marty and Rick Lagina has captivated the attention of viewers worldwide. Although it is anticipated that Marty will surpass his brother Rick in terms of wealth, it is important to keep in mind that their shared love of treasure hunting, history, and exploration is what really binds them together. Their principal goal is still the Oak Island treasure hunt. and they and their audience are continually motivated by their commitment to unraveling one of the world's great mysteries.
At the bottom.
Did you see that rush of water come in down there?
Nah.
No, it's still coming in. Can you see that?
Wait, stop.
What's that? What is that? That's interesting.
Oak Island, situated off the southern coast of Nova Scotia, is rich in legend, known both as a cursed island and a source of hidden treasures. Among the many teams of diggers and excavators working on the island, the Lagina brothers have gained popularity for their televised adventures. Over the years, they've stumbled upon various ancient artifacts that provide insights into the island's age and mysteries. However, their recent discovery at Smith's Cove stands out as their most significant find yet. What exactly did they uncover, and what significance do it hold? Join us as we explore the chilling object discovered at Smith's Cove and its relevance to unlocking the secrets of Oak Island. Ancient French drain found on Cursed Island. Most people who discuss traveling to Canada may wish to visit places like Toronto or Ontario. However, hunters would discover that Canada has another well-known location that has drawn visitors from all over the world for more than 200 years. This is about a small oak island situated on the southern coast of Nova Scotia. The island is believed to be full of opportunities for adventure and treasure, as there are rumors that a vast amount of money is concealed somewhere on the island. That's the reason hundreds, if not thousands of people have traveled to this enigmatic location known to us as Oak Island.
To me, since there's no other structure around it, I think this was an attempt to try to block off the drains.
Unfortunately, even though these hopeful treasure seekers traveled by car to the island, they would all return home empty-handed, proving that their efforts had been in vain. Maybe this is due to the treasure's enigmatic nature and the numerous booby traps placed throughout the island to prevent would-be treasure seekers from coming across it. However, the Lagina team, along with their resolute team, are determined to use the most up-to-date methods and tools available to pursue any hints they may come across, and emerge as the ones who have finally triumphed over Oak Island's treasure hunting challenge. Well, in the process, they have uncovered some fascinating facts, thanks to their efforts. As interesting as these findings are, they should be a source of encouragement for the Lagina brothers and their team, as they ponder how they haven't gotten to the treasure yet, because according to legend, the treasure may have a curse that says that before someone finds the treasure, 7 men must die searching for it. To date, approximately 6 men have met their end after the Oak Island treasure hunt challenge. Maybe until one more person falls.
You can find anything anywhere in here. You never ever know what's going to come out your next hole.
In search of treasure, the Lagina brothers and their crew may simply be content with the ancient relics they collected during their treasure hunt. Well, curse or no curse, the Lagina brothers and their determined band of treasure hunters don't seem to be stopping this treasure hunting project anytime soon. It reminds us of the time they did the huge excavation at Smith's Cove. Not that the Lagina brothers were in a good mood, because after a while they're doing the work, it seemed that all their efforts suddenly paid off. Just a day ago, the team managed to excavate the U-shaped structure found in the area. This was huge, because they were able to complete this work many years after Dan Blankenship discovered the U-shaped structure. With excavations and surveys included, one will be curious how deep they are. The farthest point of its penetration looks durable, though. That discovery came in the form of a French drain. This French drain is an old water system that uses several stones of different sizes so that its builders can direct the water from one place to another. A truly ingenious system. A French drain is a trench filled with gravel, rock, or both, with or without a perforated pipe that directs surface water and groundwater away from an area. It is also known as a weeping tile. Weeping tiles, also known as drain tiles or perimeter tiles, are the name given to the perforated pipe. Exuding liquids, the pipe weeps while it is draining. It got its name when terracotta tiles were used to make drain pipes. French drains are typically used as an alternative to open ditches or storm sewers for streets and highways, with the main purpose being to stop surface and groundwater from entering buildings or causing damage to the foundations. An alternative method of distributing water is through the use of French drains, such as a septic drain field at the sewage treatment system's typical septic tank outlet. To release groundwater pressure, retaining wall French drains are also utilized. French drains can be installed on 2 or 3 subterranean drain pipes, or they can be widened, depending on the anticipated amount and volume of runoff or rainwater. Redundancy is another benefit of having multiple pipes in case one bursts or becomes clogged due to piping defects. If a pipe is on a side of the drain that receives a lot more water, for example, if it is near an uphill slope or a roof line that drips near the French drain, it may overflow. As a kind of load balancing, water can seep sideways into a parallel pipe when a pipe overflows, preventing either pipe from being slowed down by air bubbles, as might occur in a full pipe with no upper airspace.
There is some water coming out of there. Well, that's what that 1863 Yarmouth Herald article said.
After the discovery, the team gathered on site to understand what they had just discovered. One of the first things they noticed about the French sewer was that it seemed to be made of inconsistent materials. This prompted Marty to complain about how depressing Smith's Cove was for treasure hunters, even by Oak Island standards. Looking at this structure adds to the team's frustration because the unevenness of the materials used to build this structure makes it difficult for the boys to tell what it might have been used for. All they could do was dig in Smith's Cove. Perhaps they will find more answers about the structure if they dig deeper into the earth. Meanwhile, the team continued excavation exercises at Smith's Cove. The Lagina brothers are the only excavators on the island. And how are the others, and what have they found so far? The 200-year-old shocking revelation. Also at Smith's Cove, other researchers of the Oak Island Curse team, Alex Lagina C. and Paul Troutman, were on their mission. They went 10 miles northeast to the city of Chester. This was because they wanted to look at the large collection of documents in the museum there. Perhaps they could find clues that would help them move forward a little. That's because they heard that the Chester City Heritage Society may have an extensive record of Oak Island searches going back more than 200 years. It makes us wonder what they can learn from such records, and if it would lead the team to the treasure of Oak Island. However, Alex, Finn, Doug, and the team hope to make some progress in their work at Smith's Cove. The trio soon achieved records that may interest them and the residents of Smith's Cove. However, the trio decided that they needed to do in-depth work on this study. Small drains were found on the east bank of the moat. Each of these drains was 66 feet long. Fortunately, it wasn't as extensive or scattered as some of the research materials they had acquired over the years. But they still had a lot of work, and work to do with the documents they had before. They soon found a letter written by Gilbert Hedden to Mr. Harris in 1936. This letter told of the discovery of a wooden structure with 2 trees attached to the rock, which also contains Roman numerals at Smith's Cove. Could this be the same U-shaped structure that Dan Blankenship discovered all those years ago, before the team found it just a few days ago? It was, of course, a great find. As time passed, the trio continued to make other important discoveries. For example, Doe found a newspaper article that described the finger spill at Smith's Cove. This takes us back to the 1850s, when some treasure hunters were looking for the source of the water flooding the money pit. During that flood prevention bid, the Truro Company, one of the groups, made it to the island so they could look for the treasure found in the 5-finger box.
Whenever you're in close proximity to the money pit, you have no idea the possibility of what you might find.
These 5 tunnels, made of flat stones supported by smaller stones to create an opening, seemed to connect at some point on the beach sand to form a single tunnel. A triangle that pointed west, around the legendary money shaft. As amazing as it sounds, it may be nothing compared to the newspaper article the team found moments later. Theories that something happened here long ago may or may not change history as we know it. This article, written in the Dartmouth Herald in 1863, stated that the drains were a few feet east of the show hole, and each drain was about 66 feet long. After reading the article further, the trio realized that they had two options regarding these mysterious drains. Either the U-shaped structures were reconstructed or they were built to form in the sewers. They also learned more details about the finger drain, which of course increased their eagerness to return to Smith's Cove to find the hats. Well, at least for now, they decided it was time to take the finds back to work at Smith's Cove. Alex, Doug, and Paul soon met the rest of the team at the island bar. They were keen to hand over anything they found to the Chester Heritage Society. Maybe it could help them get closer to the finish line when it comes to this Oak Island treasure hunt challenge. Soon they told their friends everything they knew over drinks. They told them about the 66-foot objects in the finger chute and that they were meeting on the beach. This information proved to be key because after listening to the measurements of the drains, Marty revealed that he had measured a U-shaped structure at Smith's Cove and that there were similar structures at the Chester Urban Heritage Society. This raises the question that maybe it was erected by treasure hunters who hoped it would end the flooding problems they faced. The only other possibility the team could think of was that the structure might have been older than it appeared. It could be that instead of building a treasure hunter to stop the flood, it was built by those who built the original money pit. The information they gathered while there, it is full of rocks here, and next to it was untouched soil. Alex and the others told them how the tunnels were big enough for a man to put his hand through, and that they were made of flat stones that didn't seem to intersect, closed at the top and bottom, making it a triangular shape. This led the team to speculate that they might encounter them as they continued to work. The only thing is that they had to be found when they were found. Therefore, the team thought it would make sense to look at these pipes as they continued their work at Smith's Cove. As the team continued to excavate the island, not all of these items could be established for nothing. There was a treasure on the island, and they were about to find it. For now, they need to focus on what's in front of them. Although the technology at their disposal could not yet tell them what the U-shaped structure was.
Wow, look at that. Is it a button or a coin?
Yeah, how about that?
They would do everything they could to find out. Now, it was time to get back to work, so they could see what they could find in Smith's Cove. The crew decided to finish their drinks and get back to work. With the crew back to work and digging away, they found an ancient relic that was dated back to 1860. What is this tunnel about? Let's dig in. Stumbling upon a 164-year-old tunnel. Let's start with Craig Tester, who decided to start his day at what was suspected to be the original money pit. This was because he planned to meet with Torrey Martin, an expert in gyroscopic research who was known for his expertise in gyroscopic technology. The meeting was arranged during the area drilled during the team's excavation exercises. That way they can tell if the holes are tubular or straight. Why is this important? Besides security reasons, as far as we can tell, this is also done so the team can know if they are hitting their targets or if they are right about their speculation of a borehole. They were currently looking at a tunnel that appeared to be about 100 feet long. Craig states that this is due to the problems they encountered in the 1860s. Probably when they built the shaft, which was supposed to be 18 feet west of the original money pit. The diggers were shocked because they suffered a massive collapse while building their shaft. This must have been unfortunate as this massive shaft was built to bypass some of the traps floating around the money pit. It turns out that the cause of the break-in is the usual suspect, floodwaters that seeped into every shaft that was previously dug. As if that wasn't bad enough, this bridge collapse was followed by a loud sound reminiscent of a massive crash. This led the group working on this treasure hunting mission to speculate that the money had fallen in. As a result, some, if not all, of that treasure may have been washed away by groundwater. It reminds us of when the team drilled the exploratory hole about 5 weeks before meeting Torrey. With the exploratory hole at about 100 feet, the team soon realized they might have found evidence of a 6th shaft that had collapsed on the 18th side. Before then, the team considered the possibilities that could present themselves to them if they just happened to find 6 axles. In a bid to make the best of their diggings, they had to dig for the hidden treasure of Oak Island. Drilling such a hole is not as easy as it seems. They have to dig these holes so deep underground that several angels may deviate from the drills, and it can be the deciding factor when it comes to deciding whether to hit the ground. To avoid such a problem, Torin and his expertise are here. That's why he came to the island with his gyroscope. It tells him how to drill or straighten the hole without too much trouble. Thanks to a microchip embedded in the device, Tori and the other guys can tell how far the hole may have deviated from its target on Earth. After completing this task for some time, Tor performs the necessary calculations on his device. Then he realized that the hole dug by Craig Tester and the rest of the team was about 8 feet east and a few feet north of the intended target and did not work underground. Therefore, Craig asked Tori to continue working so they could make the final decisions on how to fix their problem if it needed to be fixed.
There's certainly roundness in the hole.
Oh, another one. It's a coin.
In the process, they will return to Smith's Cove, where the team will continue to excavate the U-shaped structure. Oak Island can be a depressing place, especially for those who have taken on this treasure hunt challenge. However, this did not stop them from speculating what the U-shaped structure was and what its real purpose might be. Some believe that the U-shaped structure was built for this purpose, could be used to block drains. Contemplating the nature and purpose of the structure, the team was surprised to discover a strange little hole in the mud. When the team noticed that water was leaking from the hole, the team began to speculate whether it was part of the finger leak they had been seeing for some time. The opening was also triangular. It was 2 flat stones put together almost in the shape of a triangle. Surely this must be the opening the Dartmouth Herald was talking about. Unable to decide what it might be, the team thought this might be the best way to get it. Maybe he knows what to do with that triangular opening. After Rick's attention-grabbing speech, people began to feel the tension in the air. They all thought that emptying the discovered box was a real thing, and this appeal to him could help him and the rest of the team prove it to be true. Also, if Doe showed such excitement over the triangular opening in the rock he and Carlos had just found, it could only be a legitimate find. The team each made different findings and exciting discoveries from the cursed island. These discoveries further prove that the island has lots of treasures. Other impressive discoveries from the drains. Full of excitement about their findings, Rick found his way to Smith's Cove. There he met others who immediately showed him a triangular stone hole. Rick is instantly in love with this triangular hole. It was a man-made phenomenon. Mother Nature could have no part in this. Hearing water leaking from the hole, Rick was convinced it was a box. It may also be a historical find, as it may be one of the 5 drains that flooded all the shafts built on Oak Island. Imagine having the power to stop floods. This can reduce the time spent searching for treasure to just months, maybe even weeks or days. If they can figure out the trap, they could be in the money. Seeking to learn more, the team decided to scour the area for clues. After some time, the team found that there was coconut fiber in the drain hole. It had a hole level. Coir, also referred to as coconut fiber, is a naturally occurring fiber that is extracted from the outer husk of coconuts and is utilized in products like doormats, floor mats, mattresses, and brushes.
I'm seeing Britannia on it. It's definitely some kind of English coin.
The fibrous substance that lies between a coconut's hard inner shell and its outer layer is called coir. Brown coir, which is derived from ripe coconuts, is also used in horticulture, sacking, and upholstery padding. Finer brushes, string, rope, and fishing nets are made from white coir, which is extracted from unripe coconuts. Because it doesn't sink, it can be used for extended periods in deep water without adding weight that would otherwise pull buoys and boats down. Coir pith, the powdery, spongy substance left over after the coir fiber is processed, should not be confused with coir. To further complicate matters, coir fiber is referred to as copra locally in some nations. Chemically speaking, pith and coir are similar, but pith has much shorter fibers. Since both coir and pith are effective water-retaining substitutes for peat, the term cocoa peat can refer to either one of these materials alone or in combination. The words for cord or rope in Tamil and Malayalam are the origin of the term coir, which traditionally is a kind of rope made from coconut fiber. Coconut fiber has been used to make ropes and cordage since ancient times. The first people to domesticate coconuts were the Austronesian peoples, who used the fiber extensively for ropes and scent when constructing homes, and lashed lug plank boats for their travels in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. This was an important discovery because when treasure hunters discovered these drains years ago, they reported that they were covered with coconut fiber. It was supposed to be a filter to prevent the sewers from clogging. Also, after having to travel hundreds of kilometers to get the heart, the men discover that there is something about the presence of a rooster on the island. Maybe this will help them get closer to Oak Island's hidden treasure after discovering an interesting drain. This can be a link to all the difficulties that forced many to return home empty-handed, so that we can find articles that can help the team move forward with their fortunes. The team also found several objects of historical importance. In the first series of their show, after draining the man-made swamp, they found a Spanish 8 maravedis coin from 1652. The Arabic phrase, Almoravid dinar, was the name of several Iberian coins made of gold and later silver between the 11th and 14th centuries. It was also the name of various Iberian accounting units between the 11th and 19th centuries. In the same series, they also found some non-coconut fibers that were found after diving in Smith Cove. Coconut fiber is a naturally occurring fiber that is taken from the unripe coconut husk. After steeping the coconut in hot seawater, the fibers are extracted from the shell using the same method as jute fiber, combination and crushing. Each fiber cell is narrow, hollow, and has thick cellulose walls. Its dimensions are approximately 1 millimeters in length and 10 to 20 micrometers in diameter. The length and diameter of raw coconut fibers range from 15 to 35 centimeters and 50 to 300 micrometers respectively. When they are immature, a layer of lignin is deposited on their walls, which causes them to harden and turn yellow.
Holy schmoly.
Way to go, Gary!
That discovery pointed to the fact that the original creators of the money pit came from more tropical countries. In the same borehole as remnants of parchment and bookbinding made of vegetable tanned leather were found a shard of purple-stained wood. Tyrian blue, a dye used by royalty and on church documents, is similar to the color of the wood. The wood was probably stained with a vegetable dye, and the parchment might have once been a piece of bookbinding. The fifth series of the show saw perhaps the biggest find of the whole show, a medieval leaden cross that could rewrite history if it could prove that the Knights Templar visited Nova Scotia. This lead cross was found at Smith's Cove and is regarded as one of the greatest discoveries. Testing revealed that the material in the lead is from the 1300s or 1400s and comes from southern France. The idea that the Knights Templar might have been present on the island is strengthened by this artifact. Their metal detector also discovered an old piece of jewelry containing a 500-year-old rhodolite garnet. One variety in the garnet family is rhodolite garnet. It stands out for its rose to purplish colors, which occasionally even have a hint of red. Precious stones known for their color and reflectivity are garnets. Although garnets are regarded as less valuable than precious gems like diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, they have gained recognition over time for their stunning hues and comparatively high level of durability. They are rated between 6.5 and 7.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. Although it's easy to mistake rhodolite garnets for other garnet varieties with deeper red tones, such as almandine garnets, which have even deeper red tones. The rhodolite variety of garnets, on the other hand, has a distinct market demand due to its lighter hues and fruity color tones, which can occasionally be blended with purplish tones. Although garnets have been used extensively throughout ancient Egyptian, Roman, and Greek cultures, they have been around for thousands of years. It was not until much later that this particular variety of garnets became available. The name rhodolite garnet provides a good starting point for understanding its origins. There is a connection between rhodolite garnets and the U.S. state of Rhode Island. In the gem-rich Cowie Valley of North Carolina, William Earl Hidden, a mineralogist from Rhode Island, discovered rhodolite minerals sometime in the 1890s. The discovered money pit contains 2 human bones. DNA sequencing revealed that one of the bones was of Middle Eastern origin, confirming the connection to the Knights Templar and Oak Island. Initially believed by the team to be an 18th century searcher shaft, the 82-foot deep structure may hold the key to unlocking the mystery of Oak Island. A wood sample was carbon dated in 2022 to as early as 1735, which is 60 years before the original money pit was found. High trace amounts of gold were found in the shaft's water sample after further testing. Presently, the Fellowship is collaborating with Dumas Contracting Limited to reconstruct the building so that it can be utilized for searching beneath the surface for additional hints and valuables. Further wood samples taken from the shaft have tested positive for gold thanks to the ongoing operation, and it is now known that the structure is located only a few feet above the potential treasure tunnel's 95-foot depth. A piece of leather, believed to be from bookbinding, was also found, contributing to the theory that the treasure under Oak Island could be some sort of manual. They also discovered a stone slab some time ago that has odd markings on it. Which of these discoveries found in Smith's Cove intrigued you the most? Let us know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting stories.